Sorry. Oh no, have I forgotten? No, I have not. I remember to put it on today. So.
Do you ever get a little bit tired of life?
Yes.
Like you're not really happy, but you don't wanna die.
Sure?
I don't remember what the next line is.
I don't know what this is.
It's a song that's stuck in my head. It's very relatable and also very good.
Alrighty. Well, howdy folks. EJ here and McClayla. Back at it again with the white vans.
What?
Nothing. It's like a 2016 meme or something that I was only privy to because of people talking about it, not because I actually saw it myself.
I put the thing in the thing.
You did what?
I put the thing in the thing.
Cool, thanks.
Do you ever get a little bit tired of life? Like you're not really happy, but you don't wanna die?
I suppose. Sure. That is so vague to the point where it could really be relatable to almost any situation. Like, it's just kind of the neutrality between two extremes, but like the neutrality that it allows is very large.
Well, the point is like...
So as long as you're not horribly depressed or like not super enjoying life, anything else in between where it's like, life's fine, or like, it's not too bad.
Well, the name of the song is Numb Little Bug. And it's about, like, if you're on meds for your mental health, and, like, it sort of just numbs you to everything. And so, like, you're not happy, but you're also, like, not wanting to die anymore. So you're just kind of in the middle. Everything feels bland. Things aren't great, but at least you're not suffering that much. And it's just kind of like, you know?
I see. Hey, Darkness, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good one. Better than Numb Bug over there.
Do you ever get a little bit tired of life? Like you're not really happy, but you don't wanna die. Like you're hanging by a thread, but you gotta survive, cause you gotta survive. Like your body's in the room, but you're not really there. Like you have empathy inside, but you don't really care. Like you're fresh out of love, but it's been in the air, my past repair.
Why do I have two of these?
I don't know. OMG, I know that song. It's a good one. It's been in my head all day, and I was trying to remember the words, so I looked it up. But yeah, I like that song. It's very catchy and very relatable. It has such a jovial tune for such a depressing...
They were both created at the exact same moment, but one of them was last edited 2016 and one of them was last edited 2017.
Wow!
So I'm guessing what happened was I didn't touch it for a long time, but for one of them I decided, you know what, I have some important notes I would like to add. I'd also like to change the title. So I copy-pasted it, added some notes.
Why is this one bigger than this one?
That is a good question. Why? That doesn't make any sense. The one that's older has more information in it, but the one that's newer has less?
Seb says, hello, you poops!
Hey Seb, welcome.
Hello.
I'm confused. I don't understand why are there even two files? Why was I this much of a dumbo? I mean, I was always obsessed with having backups of things, but this is kind of ridiculous. They're both in the same folder. If something happens to one of them, it's going to happen to both. I don't... Okay, sure, I have a backup, I guess, but one of them had... It's just kind of confusing. I don't know what is added to this one that is not in the other one, but I guarantee you by the end of these files, it's all just jumbled notes anyway. It's not like it's actually important writing, so it probably won't affect us.
Fanfiction, guys.
No fanfiction shall be written here. Anyway, I guess we'll read the older one then. Let's see if page 49, which is where we left off, is pretty much exactly the same place that we left off in the other one. And once again, gotta love the fact that I literally can't edit this if I want to because I don't have a subscription to Microsoft anymore. Whee! It's been a long time since I had one, actually. What page are we on? 16? What?
16!
Well, it looked like that little bar was going to go a lot farther, but it didn't. Very sad. I feel cheated and lied to.
Alright, calm down. Wait, no. I can't do math.
What?
Sorry. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm not saying anything.
49
I didn't speak a single word.
Whatever you said. It's like that cat that makes that noise when he's like about to drown. Oh, I remember why we stopped last time. It's because I just couldn't be bothered to listen to the wizard speak anymore.
Exposition! Yay!
The fanfic took me to my 13 14-year-old Wattpad days. Ah.
I had that too, man. I used to write Warrior Cat fan fiction. Wish I still had them, but I deleted them all because I would realize that they were cringe like 2 months after writing them, and then I delete them.
Oh, this is The Chosen. Gasp.
What?
This is just The Chosen. It's the same idea.
Oh.
It was gonna be a story told from the perspective of like someone who's actually there witnessing Jesus, but now someone's doing it, so I can totally delete that now. Haha, no effort required from me. I appreciate it. There's Paradim's Tale, which we read previously. That's
I remember
great.
absolutely nothing from what that was.
Yep. I don't know what this one is. I don't know if we're gonna bother looking.
One?
It just says 1. I don't know what that means.
One.
I'm scared to click it without having any idea what it is. Because, I mean, I can kind of remember, you know, the majority of the important stuff that happens in this old stuff, because, like, maybe I put more effort into it, but this, I don't have any idea what that is. I can check it out later just to make, like, to screen it, and, I mean, I'm sure, yeah, let's just take a look. I have no idea.
Oh, boy.
1 minute left. I burst into my apartment and came face to face with One Day Adventure. One Day Adventure? Okay.
One Day Adventure?
I guess it all happens in the course of one day. I don't know. Came face to face with someone I knew far too well, but still not well enough to understand. The evil person who had caused the deaths of so many. I'm reminded of the time travel story. I slowly drew my gun. Gun violence as I stared at my twin brother. He returned my gaze with a mixture of emotions. Bemused arrogance, anger, pain, sadness. That's a lot of emotions at once. His face must be like a contorted nightmare. I could see everything that I felt on his face as he drew his gun also. He was in my power? I finally had him.
Oh, jeez.
What is happening? But he also had me. Or is this like a clone story where like
I don't know.
they both of them have the exact same emotions and like they do the exact same thing, like mirror images, so it's hard for them to like defeat each other? I don't know. I'm trying to get back into my previous mindset because I don't know what this is. There's like 4 different stories that I've come up with the same kind of like premise opening, and I don't know which one it is. That we had always struggled with each other, but things had reached the point of no return. I breathed hard, trying to think of something to say. As the precious time counted down, we each maintained our aim, handguns trained on each other's skulls. There was only one way this was going to end. Yeah, with both of you dying at this rate. My twin mirrored my every move as I shifted nervously, preparing myself while time ran down dangerously low. What time is running out? My panicked heartbeat throbbed against my eardrums, as though my brain was trying to escape the pain of an impending bullet. 5 seconds until detonation. Detonation? What? 4, 3, what is happening? I took a deep breath, clenched my teeth, and locked my muscles into their final stance. When there was but 1 final second left, I spoke. It is finished, I growled, pulling the trigger.
Cool.
Oh, I've got a million things I have to explain to you before I get into that part of the story. Oh man, where do I begin? Alright, well, do we want to say this was probably written when I was like 13 maybe? That kind of era? Because certainly, I mean, it did leave off or start off with a good like hook to get you interested in what was happening, so maybe, I don't know.
I feel like you were a little bit older.
Yeah, I don't know.
When...
Agent E. Agent E!
Because every single character you've
no
ever
idea what
made
this
is just a self-insert, apparently.
Of course! I can't come up with names for heroes. Well, I don't know what this is, but maybe I'll check it out later.
Shroomy says,
let's
EA
check out when it was
can
written.
speak? I've been lied to.
Hi, Shroomy. This was written... created September 2nd, 2013.
Which does not mean you were 13.
You're right.
That would be me.
Modified. Last modified, also 2013. So apparently I did not write this for very long in the slightest. Less than a month is how long I spent working on this.
It was only 8 pages, it said.
Oh, okay. I don't know what it was. Clearly it didn't have much of an impact on me. I didn't spend years on it like the other ones. And I must have been like 16 maybe at this point as well. So maybe I started writing this and was like, this is dumb. I'm gonna go write a fantasy novel in medieval land instead. Whatever. Have we delayed long enough for people to get here who actually want to get here?
Says,
almost actually time for our stream. We started early because I was impatient and didn't know what to do with my life until then.
I look so slouchy because I'm not used to being tall.
You look like, where's Waldo?
You can't see me. I'm imperceptible to the human eye. Jack's made it backs.
Well, anyway, hello everybody. I hope you all have arrived in this like buffer time we've added in. Do we want to give a brief recap on what has happened in this story so far?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
there's a place, and it's like a medieval world, and then there's like all these little towns, and in this town there's a guy named Ian, and Ian's parents sucked, and they were terrible, and his dad threw a knife at his face, and he was like, oh, ow. And then his parents got killed by a friggin' troll or something. And he watched them die. He was like, oh no, they're dead. And so he's really traumatized and all that. And then he grew up into like an edgy 16-year-old boy. And everyone in the town hates him.
They
for
all
like,
hate
for
him.
no discernible reason.
There's
just,
really not a
just
reason.
Because they just really hate him.
He just feels like he's judged by everyone. I don't know if they actually hate him.
Shermie says, you look pretty, McKay. Oh, thank you. And there was this girl, and her name was Iya, not to be confused with Ian. But Iya, she was the daughter of this random wizard that moved into town and started, like, kind of protecting them from the bad boys. And so everyone hates Iya as well, for also not really a discernible reason, just because she's the daughter of a wizard, and they're like, oh, witch child!
Wait, hold up. The person who Iya was based off of, that real-life person, was in my dream last night.
Oh.
That was weird.
Strange.
Along with the previous girl before that one that I had a crush on.
This is bringing back memories.
My dream is?
Story is bringing back memories to your brain.
They're not really memories though, because they're completely fictitious situations. I don't think we ever went on like a mountain vacation with our family and Uncle Dale's family and these two random people, and I don't think I shared a room with them. That's sus. That is. I'm confused because we had like a bed here, a couch there, a bed there, and I'm just like, why am I here with these people? I don't like these.
He has 2 girlfriends.
There were many questionable. I'm just confused. I mean, nothing happened, but it was confusing, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I don't even like these people, and they're completely cut out of my life. Why are they here? Let alone here with our family, but like in my room. Help.
What are you doing in my house?
I want waffle fries. So yeah, that was an interesting dream that I just remembered. There was also a tennis court that was entirely like Uncle Dale wanted to play tennis on it with Aunt Jean or whatever. And we went to this park, and then there was just like a bunch of old people sitting in like wooden chairs and just sitting in the middle of the tennis court, like, we ain't gonna move, you can't play tennis. And Uncle Dale was so sad. They were just like, no, they were all like sunbathing and just kind of like chillaxing, but they were right in the middle of the tennis court, so Uncle Dale couldn't play, so he was upset. And then I don't remember what else happened. It was a weird dream. It was like a long stream of consciousness, because I also, in that same dream at some point, I got bit in the neck by a rattlesnake. I don't know how I survived that. Sorry, I just. I think I picked it up to get it off my neck, and it bit me in the hand again after that, actually. But sure, we're gonna go with that. So yeah, sorry for going insane just then. Continue your recap of the story.
So everyone hates Iya because she's like a witch child, even though she's just minding her own business. So these people were just gonna like straight up kill her, but then Ian stepped in and was like, wait! Logic. Don't do it. And they were like, oh, you're a right boy that we hate and could easily kill. But they left, and then he like saved her life and he carried her home.
Wow.
And then like,
did he? Did he carry her?
I think so.
Why did he carry her?
Oh wait, maybe not carry. Maybe she was conscious. I don't remember.
I don't know.
I thought she was unconscious.
Who cares?
Whatever.
Not infectious.
Not
pandemic? Oh.
And so like they were kind of friends or whatever, and then it's like a couple years later, and oh no, Iya has gotten, like, voted by the townspeople to be eaten by the dragon that rules over everything, because apparently every year you have to vote for someone to go die. So they voted for Iya because they hate her so much.
Everyone hates them.
So Iya's gonna get taken, and Ian's all like, oh no, but I love her, but I won't admit that to myself because I hate romance. But I love her, but I won't admit it because I hate romance. And so she gets, like, taken.
I have trauma.
And Ian, like, this whole weird thing happens where he, like, kills a demon that was actually the wizard's wife, but then, like, actually was a demon. Then the wizard was mad at him for, like, 3 seconds, but then he got mad at him because he's just really chill about everything.
The wizard is so drugged up at all times.
He's like, I hate you, you killed my wife, you're banished forever. But then 5 minutes later, he's like, actually, it's okay. I mean, I'm chill that my wife is dead and my daughter got kidnapped by a troll to get eaten by a dragon. It's all good. It's fine. And then Ian was all like, I gotta go save Iya because if I can save her and then, like, rally up the people in all these towns to go against the dragon, we can start a revolution, boys, because nobody's ever thought of that before, and I'm 16. And so he goes after her. And then the wizard like shows up and just blinds him and is like, "Yo, haha, I spooked ya," and he knocks him out. And then Ian wakes up and he's like, "Why the frick did you do that?" And the wizard's like, "'Cause you would have thought that I was a spooky boy if I were to say that I was here." And Ian's like, "But now but Ia," and the wizard's all like, "Oh, but we shouldn't get her right now because reasons." And then the wizard goes on this weird rant where he explains a bunch of stuff. Oh, and we get a POV of the dragon whose name is Solbach. And the thing that's going on with Solbach is that he's like a pretty young dragon. He's like not that old, but he looks and he feels like he's getting all old and stuff. And he's like, "Why am I rapidly aging, bruh? I hate this." And then his weird little...
The dragon is also edgy.
Yes,
Everyone
he's like
is edgy.
Edgy 15-year-old. He's very immature.
Ian is 1 year older than him.
Oh.
SMH.
And so his little goblin buddy, Rebecca, is all like, "Oh, I have a theory as to why you are aging. It seems like someone has cursed a piece of treasure in your treasure trove, and it's like making you get all old." And the dragon's like, "Oh, I bet it was that freaking wizard that was all wizardy and stuff." Oh. And then it cuts back to Wizard and Ian, and the wizard instantly gives us lots of exposition about how he like cursed this little rock, and like, if you separate it from the thing surrounding it, then like you have ultimate power. But if it stays within the thing, then it like kills you if you touch it. And so it's like slowly killing this dragon. And then he like tells us this weird allegory about this elf that's like supposed to be Jesus. And like if you believe in this elf, then you like get magic or something weird. It was really strange.
It was very ham-handed. It was like, well, who would not want to be a Christian in that case?
Who would ever be so silly? And so like, yeah, Ian's gonna try to kind of learn magic or something weird, and like he and the wizard are kind of teaming up to do stuff to
train him how to be magic so that they can go rescue Ia later rather than now, I guess, which doesn't really change.
It takes a month for Ia, the troll man, to take Ia to the dragon. So she's just gonna be walking for like a straight month. Yeah,
so they're like, oh yeah, we got time to go train and like learn magic and do stuff so that we're ready to go save Ia later. But either way, it's still a month's time before the dragon will realize anything's up, so what's the point in letting her just be on the back of the dragon or back of the troll for a month?
Keep her safe and not have her starving to death.
This is a rough draft. I never went back to edit these many plot holes in logic or the bad.
That's fair. I wrote a first draft of the scene, and I only realized once I finished that there were two things that blatantly contradicted each other. That's totally fine. Well, I would have fixed it if I edited it.
Yeah, understandable. Editing helps a lot.
Lol.
So anyway, yeah, we're pretty much caught up now to where we are now. And I just couldn't be bothered to listen to any more of the wizard shenanigans last time, but here we go, continuing from where we left off.
The entire character is just exposition to
apparently
the audience.
Like he really should be emotionally distraught right now because his entire family's just been destroyed and he realized he was been living a lie, but no, he's just like, everything's fine, I'm gonna teach you magic now, and I'm cheerful and happy about that as I exposit to the world. He's just a tool for the writer. He's not really being a character right now.
Yeah, he feels like one of those guys in like a Shakespeare
He doesn't even have a name yet. He's still just called the Wizard. Poor guy.
He's not real. He's a figment of your imagination.
Yep. Yes, he is. Do we have any chat to keep up with, or are we ready to start? 1 minute after.
Darkness is just talk about dreams.
Ah, yes, cool. Yeah, I usually don't remember my dreams, but I've started writing them down the moment I wake up these days, because if I don't, I'll never remember them.
I remember the screenshot I took of a dream, because I remember one night you had a dream where you were in a plane crash, and then I said in the Squad of 4 chat, I was like, I had a dream that I was pregnant and I peed in a trash can. And then later in that same dream, I was on a plane, and I was like, whoa, was I in your plane crash?
Oh no.
But yeah, I was pregnant and I peed in a trash can.
Yikes.
This weird shop only had trash can bathrooms.
Yeah. Huh. I don't know if I've written any of these down, but I do remember, like, many times, not lately, but, like, recently where I've had dreams where I needed to go to the bathroom, and I, like, went to the bathroom, but it was really weird, like, that you couldn't find a toilet that was functional or something.
Yeah.
And then you wake up, And you're like, did I pee myself? No, I'm good. Okay, I just really need to pee. And then you go to the
I
bathroom in
didn't
real
even
life.
have to pee when I woke up. I
Oh.
just had a dream where I peed in a trash can because reasons. I don't know.
Oftentimes, when I need to pee
I
in
was
real
also in
life,
a wedding
that's when I have a
dress.
dream about needing to pee. But then there's always something weird happening in regards to it. Like you can't find a bathroom,
Yeah.
or it's like a completely dilapidated bathroom, or like you find out that there's a glass wall and like just random children playing in a room beside you can see you as you're trying to pee, and you're like, oh no.
Mine was so weird. I was in a wedding dress. I was in like a dress shop in a changing room with just like little curtains that you pull, and I could like see the feet of someone else like next to me.
And they were
And it was
also
one of
peeing
those
in a
trash cans
can.
where like you step on the lid and it goes up. And it was only like that big around too, and it was like completely full of like other mysterious liquids.
Oh, no.
And so it was literally like overflowing.
Oh no.
And then I had to like run through this really crowded shop after I was done putting my wedding dress back on, and then I had to like run through all these tiny little alleyways with people everywhere to get to a plane that was gonna take off. It was really complicated. I don't know why it was that much, but
My weirdest one where I had to pee was probably like I was on I don't know if it was like a school trip or something, but like I remember being like there were other high school boys ish. I guess I was a high school boy at that point. I don't know. Where like I went to this bathroom and it was like one of those big long like locker room kind of bathrooms, so there's plenty of stalls, but you go in those stalls and then they also like open directly into other stalls. It was like a fractal labyrinth from Doctor Strange's mirror dimension, just of bathrooms, and you were like, where, how do I find a private how there's like 4 doors in this stall, where, how do I, what? It was like I was on a hallucinatory LSD trip. It was weird. Eventually I decided to pee in an overflowing toilet or something.
Why does that happen so much? I don't know.
Yeah, and then when I woke up, as usual, I was like paranoid because I felt like I had peed, and I was like, oh no, did I pee? No? Okay. I still need to pee in real life though, so I guess I'm okay. So I'm thankful that, as opposed to being a child in the past, now I have the ability to not pee. Even when I'm peeing in my dream, I don't pee in real life, and I don't pee the bed. I can actually. Why am I sharing any of this?
I don't know. Why are we talking about pee?
I don't know.
Seb says, I had a dream where Stu tried to eat me.
What?
Yeah, I woke up to a notification from Seb that said, like, I had this super weird dream, so I'm gonna put it here in case I forget it. And he said something about, like, going to this mansion where, like, Stu was there. But then I opened the notification and he had deleted the message. And I was like, I guess I'll never know what that dream was. And I was like, you're not gonna show me your dream? And he was like, yeah, it was too weird. And I was like, no, I wanted to hear the dream. So
Seb is actually Leonardo DiCaprio, the Cannibal Man. He played cannibal in one of those movies, right?
I don't know.
PJ.
PJ.
Wow.
Lucid Nightmare.
I've had so many weird dreams. I can't control it, man. Anyway. The wizard had left him alone in the sunny clearing with the cracking stone troll. Oh boy, gotta love putting you back with your trauma.
Woo!
Ian circled the monument carefully, thinking, how is seeing this reminder of my parents' deaths supposed to help me let go? Ian thought angrily, kicking the horrid statue in the leg. Ian's kick shattered the weathered rock, and the troll statue fell over on its face with a thud.
Well,
Good
that
job.
was a hard kick.
Apparently it was old and cracky. Either that or Ian is a superhuman. Ian would have left right then had he not heard the clanking sound that accompanied the troll's fall. His body
falls out of his bag.
Oh no! He stared at the troll's bag, which was slung over its shoulder, bulging with the shapes of what it once contained.
Disturbing. Disturbing.
Yeah. The bag already had several cracks in it. Tempting. Tempting! What do you mean tempting? You hear a skull? You hear a skull rattling around in there, and you're like, I wonder what the bones are in there. Why would... He knew that the bag would contain whatever remained of his parents, but there was still a sense of mystery about the contents of the bag, as there always had been.
Okay.
Little bit concerned about Psychopath EJ. Ian knew that it would probably only upset him to finish cracking the stone bag and see the remains, but it would be nice to finally put them to rest in a proper grave.
Plot twist. They're not actually there. Something happened.
Oh, magical teleporting. Well, they did get decapitated before they were put in the bag, so that would be quite a trick. Ian debated kneeling beside the statue. Ian sighed and stood, walking into the morning sunshine. A fairy fluttered around his head, still. Again, apparently having been on him as the wizard transported them back, and then collapsed in exhaustion on the ground. Weird sentence. Many different entities that could have collapsed on the ground, but that's fine. The wizard then explained that to use magic, one must have focus, energy, and determination to cast a spell. Determination from Undertale. And that every use of magic sapped an amount of energy that corresponded with the energy that would have been required to perform the task manually.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sensing inspiration from the Aragon series, and also not sure why I'm feeling the need to explain retroactively conversations that we're not currently experiencing in fast forward at exposition mode, but that's fine. Ian stopped and allowed the poor lost creature, back in present tense, to land on his shoulder to rest, but Ian didn't continue walking afterward. He turned back to the gargoyle, pondering.
Well, I suppose I can't feel any worse than I already do, and I can't withstand any... What? And I can withstand any sorrow, right?
Sure.
Ian asked the fairy, who looked back in oblivious cheerfulness. It made a few joyful sounds in its odd language.
Okay.
I'll have to assume that was a yes, I suppose. Ian replied with a smirk as he walked back towards the troll and gained momentum, which he then put behind a powerful kick with his heel. The fairy took flight.
Then he shatters his foot.
Chirping excitedly as Ian grunted and opened a wide crack in the bag. Again and again, Ian smashed the bag, widening cracks until the bag suddenly collapsed in on itself. The rank-smelling air from inside the previously sealed bag was not pleasant, to say the least. The fairy choked and fluttered farther away, looking indignant. 8 years of rot were packed into the potent, noxious fumes that now floated out of the hole in the bag. Ian gagged, trying not to throw up as he held his nose and gave the bag one last kick. The rest of the stone shattered, and all the contents of the bag tumbled out, rolled off the troll's back, and landed beneath him on the ground. Ian checked the bag just to make sure that nothing had been left behind. He confirmed that only dust remained in the bag, then turned to examine the objects that had tumbled out. The full skeletons of both of his parents, encased in stone, protected from weathering from all this time. Hundreds of bones, some small. That means the same thing, okay. Now littered the grassy ground. But these bones were not clean, bleached white and pristine. They were dirty, brown and yellow, revolting. Horrid reminders that these bones had remained covered in rotting flesh after most corpses were buried, eaten, ripped apart, or washed away. Ian looked away, swallowing hard. Two skulls leered at Ian tauntingly. Why would you want to look at this? I just don't...
That's so tempting, though. Wow.
So tempting.
I get to see some gross, like, a confined ecosystem where no moisture could get in or get out, so it's just moist, gross, rotting goo for 8 years.
Wonderful.
Can't wait to smell that!
Woo! I love my dead parents' faces.
Oh, just mummified remains as the bacteria in their guts eat them alive.
Haha. Anyway, two skulls leered at Ian tauntingly, daring him to try burying these wretched things.
No,
Ian stood again.
Just leave. Vomit elsewhere. Go away.
He knew it would be pointless to bury these bones. His parents couldn't care either way. Nobody else came over this way anymore, and Ian didn't really mind leaving them out rather than going to the effort of digging a hole. Ian was about to walk away again when he noticed an odd blue glow coming from beneath one of the skulls.
Aha, now we get to the point of why he just inexplicably decided to do this.
Yeah, because he was just about to walk away. He was like, oh boy, saw my dead parents, that's exactly what I wanted, bye. But now there's the item of magic. Ian's curiosity was piqued, and
peeking.
And he knelt down to examine the skull further. Gross.
Ew.
He poked it with a loose twig, and the skull rolled away to reveal a smooth, shiny, sapphire blue jewel. It's a rock from his mother. Perfectly polished, semi-transparent, egg-sized. Oh, it is Aragon. And elongated spear shape.
It's a dragon. No.
And it seemed to pulsate with power, glowing rhythmically. Ian had no idea what
chanting
it was,
rhythmically.
but he picked it up and pocketed it after a quick examination, with the intent of showing the wizard later. It was obviously magical.
It glows, therefore it's magic. I know these things.
If you could use magic, why couldn't you save yourself and my mother that night? Ian asked his father in his thoughts. Ian could see him shrugging and replying that mistakes happen. Mistakes happen!
Sorry, I chucked the knife at your head and didn't do anything useful with my life.
You need to get rid of this skull.
I mean, just because he has something magical doesn't mean that he is magical, right? Like,
I think
okay,
so.
I guess he did have the knife that was some kind of cool thing, and also this thing, which is cool, I guess, but sure, whatever. Seb says, I deleted it because it was so weird. I reread it and I'm like, nah, she's gonna be more disturbed after reading that than anything.
Bold of you to assume that I would be that disturbed.
Darkness says, I know there are some people who are interested in looking at skeletal systems and their structures, but this is weird and creepy.
Yeah, usually not the ones of your parents. That's just a little weird.
Yeah, and usually you want to look at bones that, have been there long enough to not be gross anymore.
Yeah.
This is just like a crime scene.
Ian needs some therapy or something. It's not a healthy coping mechanism. Looking at your parents' dead corpses.
Don't like it. Don't like it.
No.
Don't like it. Where are we?
Just the top.
Ian looked around a bit more, checking to see if there were any more items of interest that had been on his parents when they died. Ian found 2 belt buckles, a strange key, and 2 intricately woven gold necklaces with identical pendants.
Oh, they have matching necklaces.
Each of which had Ian's parents' intertwined names spelled in gold, circling around his own.
Okay.
Pog, expert blacksmithing. Ian sighed, putting these other beautiful, but they're covered in gross stuff. Why are you touching these? Let them bury in the ground. In his pocket, along with the belt buckles. Why are you keeping the belt buckles? They're belt buckles. Get others that aren't covered in gross parent goo. Ian then took a closer look at the key he had found. When did he find a key?
It said there was a key. A strange key.
Sorry, I'm stupid. Which didn't appear. My reading comprehension as I'm reading it out loud is like -12 sometimes. It didn't appear special, except that it was made out of gold. Once again, Pog, gotta love riches. Ian didn't know what it opened, so he pocketed it as well.
Very cool.
After a final search of the premises, Ian decided that he had gained all he could from the area, and he walked away, leaving the bones strewed across the ground in disarray. Way to disrespect the parents. The fairy followed him. Why is the fairy still here? Why would the fairy not just and run for them?
He's one of those Tumblr boys with like the flower crowns, and he's just got little fairies that just flock to him because he's just like a
Tumblr boy?
Yeah.
Haven't heard of this.
Well, do you know what Tumblr is?
I have used one on rocks at one point.
You haven't heard of Tumblr?
I know it's a site that no longer exists, right?
Yeah, it might have gotten shut down, but it was popular in like 2014, 2015, maybe 2016. But it was where all the it was for like emo people, but also for like I'm not like other girls kind of people. It was just for like, edgy kind of teenagers. Where they all kind of thought that they were cool and deep. Which I wasn't on Tumblr, but I definitely had one of those phases, so I can say that. But like, there was a lot of art of people with like, flower crowns and like ooh and like soft boy and like, things like that. And so just him having a constant fairy with him just reminds me of that same aesthetic of like, I look so edgy, but I'm actually just so soft and so ooh and innocent,
So ooh.
Yeah.
Well, it's literally just
like,
Link. He's becoming Link.
Yeah, people just like take these like villain characters or like people that are actively like really bad and they just go, oh no, they're actually very ooh and very soft.
They are very ooh. What is this ooh that you keep using as an adjective? I don't know if I understand this.
I don't know. I mean,
Hey!
Sorry, I can't speak.
Welcome, Izzy. How's it going? Welcome, raid
people.
Welcome
to the Edge. I'm trying to explain the concept of Tumblr boys right now. Let me see if I can look something up.
Yeah. All I have gotten so far is that a Tumblr boy is an edgy but also ooh, I am soft boy kind of person. That's kind of what I've been told. Hello, that's a very long name that I don't know if I'll be able to pronounce correctly. Omer Modded Gamer YouTube. Got it. Cool. Hello, welcome. Thank you for the emojis in the chat. Each dab, my dudes. Izzy! Processed bananas are delicious. We just saw some processed bananas, I'm pretty sure. Ian's parents are dead, and their rotted corpses just fell out of a bag. But it's fine, because we passed that part, and now we're talking about a fairy chilling out with the guy.
Oh, see, here's kind of a decent example. Like, you have Sherlock, someone who would never, like, wear flower crowns and stuff, but they have him, like, decorated as, like, flower crown, and he's, like, got his pink little cheeks, and he's, like... It's not the best example, I don't know what to Google, but, like, just doing people that would never... Rico? I don't know who it is. Oh, it's apparently Brendan Urie.
Okay.
But yeah, just like taking characters that would never be like that and just making them like very soft and very like, oh, look at the innocent boy. Like if someone took like, I don't know, Loki or something, which would be more justifiable now that the series is out. But before that was out, that's weird. You know?
I see. Anyway, after a final search of the provinces, he realized he had gained all he could from the area, and he walked away, leaving the bones strewn across the ground in disarray. The fairy followed him as he purposely went back towards the village. The little yellow glowing creature chirped angrily at having been left behind, and Ian slowed to let the lost fairy land on his shoulder again.
Because he just randomly has a connection with his random fairy now. Gotta be a Disney princess.
He's a edgy soft boy, I guess.
Yeah.
Ian picked up his pace again, heading for the wizard's new temporary residence, as the annoying entity began trying to weave with Ian's hair. Why did you stop and wait for it if you think it's annoying? Poor little creature. He didn't ask to be teleported magically.
Narble is back.
Hey, Narble! Oh, what was my Narble voice? Hey, Ian! He was like Scottish, wasn't he? I can't do a Scottish voice. Hey, Ian! Narble shouted from his shop as Ian tromped past. Ian stopped, turning hesitantly. Narble motioned for Ian to come closer. Reluctantly, Ian did so. Ian did not want to speak to Narble, especially after their particularly embarrassing and infuriating last conversation. I barely remember it.
Me too.
Ian leaned against the counter and sighed heavily.
What do you want, Narble? Ian asked sullenly. Narble tore his gaze away from the fairy and tried to refocus on Ian.
Nice pet! What was that voice that just came out of me?
I don't know.
Nice pet, he teased with a grin. Ian rolled his eyes. So why didn't you catch the troll? What are you doing back here? Narble asked. Ian blinked, taken aback.
How did you...
Ian, it was obvious what you were doing. You haven't run through the village like that since the last time someone tried to kill you before you got good at fighting. I hated that line. Why didn't you keep on running until you got the troll and saved her? Or saved your...
2 words. Old wizard. Ian cut him off. Narble nodded sadly.
Shouldn't have told a wizard what you were planning.
Shouldn't have said that. I didn't tell anyone. I just went. But the wizard stopped me in the middle of the woods and brought me back here.
Ah, I see. Yes, he must have known that you'd go after her.
Yes, he did, but Ian debated whether or not to tell Narble about there still being a chance of saving Ia. Never mind, Ian finished.
Well, now what are you gonna do? Wait, what? Well, what are you going to do now? Narble asked. Are you gonna protect... are you... EA.exe is having a stroke. Where am I? Who am I?
You're Narble.
Okay. I'm just gonna try this again. Well, what are you gonna do now? Are you gonna let that old fool stop you, or are you gonna keep going on to rescue?
Narble, if I tried again, the wizard would just stop me again. And if he didn't, and I actually freed her, the dragon would annihilate our entire village, and for not giving him a sacrifice.
Not if the wizard used magic to hide our village from his eyes, Narble responded. Talk to him. If he really loves his daughter, he's got to be willing to try something, even if it involves sending all of the people in this village out to another village where there's more opportunity. I'm sure everyone in the village would be willing to do anything for you. For you, Ian.
Why?
They all hate him. Everyone hates him. Why would you even suggest something so stupid?
That's dumb.
You're the nicest person around. That's not at all true, probably. He doesn't even speak to anyone. No question. And there isn't a one of us that doesn't owe you for something. Is that true as well? I thought he hadn't interacted with anyone for the last 8 years. He's a literal caveman, just chilling.
Yeah, I really don't know where he's getting this
Once
from.
again, symptoms of rough draft. I forgot what happened in the past, and I don't have a plan for the future. I don't know. Just, alright, sure, why not? Yep.
Now everyone loves you, apparently.
Everyone loves him. We love him so much. I don't know what's happening.
Narble, think. I'd be asking for you all to help me commit an act of rebellion against the dragon, put all your lives at risk, and cause you a major inconvenience all at the same time. And the only gain would be saving the life of Ia, while possibly sacrificing hundreds more lives.
I'm still reeling. Why the heck would Narble suggest this for the witch child and the caveman boy, neither one of them chopped off his foot. Why is he
Seriously, I
suddenly...
don't know.
He was angry at him in their last conversation, and now he's just like, everything's fine. Yeah, we can inconvenience everyone in the village and wrench them
Nobody
out from
will
their
mind.
lives and send them to a new place. Everyone will do that. It's fine. Don't even worry about it. But they didn't, like, do this for the last guy they sent last year. Like,
Apparently not.
nobody liked that. They must have hated that guy even worse. I want to hear that guy's story.
Me too.
All hated him way worse. I don't know. Okay. Where are we? Okay, so I'm here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, perhaps it is time that we committed an act of rebellion. Our village has put up with this way of enslaved life for far too long, Narble pointed out, clenching his fists. Ian smiled, reaching out to shake Narble's hand. Narble seemed confused for a moment. What is this hand shaking? Then heartily shook it.
Welcome aboard, Narble. I'm glad someone has been having similar thoughts.
Wow, it's almost like the writer doesn't know what he's doing.
Can you help me figure out if anyone else shares our views about it being time for a revolution? Ian asked. I know most people are too protective of their families to even consider putting them in danger. They just live their whole lives in the normal, widely accepted, safe way.
You speak too much. You don't need to rephrase everything 4 times.
And only get around to thoughts of changing the world when they get old and gray, as you were the wizard. You just called them old. They never decide to risk something in order to secure a truly happy, safe future for their children.
Nobody talks like that in an actual conversation.
Like a full paragraph.
Stop
when he's
going on your soliloquy.
Get off your soapbox.
This is not how conversations work.
No. Instead, they wait and allow their children to inherit their situation, their dying world, and their children feel entitled to the same life that their parents had, so they make sure to stay safe and secure while they raise a family of their own. Nothing ever changes. The only thing that changes is how bad the world is really getting, and nobody has the wisdom to see it except the old and frail who have already pursued this dream of folly and finally rejected it. Now that I'm done with my paragraph, you can finally respond.
I lost you there for a second. You were like staring off in the void and having an internal monologue like you were like narrating and expositing to an audience or something. I don't.
Weird.
Was that like a camera shot in your own brain? Are you really here in real life now? Can we speak like normal human beings?
Yeah, we're definitely real.
Okay.
Now.
The old and ye lad. Norble smiles. Ian returned the gesture. I'll ask around. So the wizard has decided to forget the past village he destroyed? He asked. Everyone knows about this? Okay. Ian nodded. Yes, that cursed dragon did a superb job of crushing any radicals that wanted to resist. He badmouthed and destroyed any ideas opposing him. What do you mean badmouthed? It's a What? How do you badmouth people who are like, don't let the dragon torch us? I mean, badmouth as in fire from fire breathing. That, I guess, could be considered. Don't make you get you spinning again. She had a long story. Not worth explaining.
Okay.
He badmouthed and destroyed any ideas opposing him. Sounds like political. And now nobody tries. But we humans still have enormous populations scattered across all these villages. The dragon purposely put us in these isolated sections so that we would be powerless. He's slowly killing us all, but I'm sure we can defeat him if we act before it's too late.
I agree. Share some of your reasoning with others. I'll do the same if you need help. But for now,
is that nowhere? Okay.
Go talk to the wizard, Ian replied.
Good luck, Narble called to Ian as he turned to go.
You too, Ian replied before stopping short. He turned and walked back to Narble, fishing in his pocket.
What is it?
Narble, I found this gold key.
Money! I like money.
Do you know what it goes to? Ian asked, laying it on the counter.
It goes to my pocket.
Narble took one look at it. What? Took one look at it and snatched it up, quickly putting it in his pocket.
Hey! Nope, I've got no idea, he replied quickly. Ian gave Narble a suspicious glare, cocking his head. Narble said, Very well. I suppose I'd better be honest with you if we're going to be on the same side fighting this dragon, he reasoned, motioning for Ian to follow him inside. I mean, this was all your father's shop at one point, so I guess it is yours after all, he admitted, leading Ian into his father's old workroom. It was strewn with papers and half-finished projects, much in the same way that Ian's house was. It appeared to still be in almost exactly the same state that Ian had left it in during the night of the fire. Ian looked down, seeing that his feet were kicking up a cloud of dust.
I take it you don't come in here much, Ian asked, kneeling down and blowing away a layer of dust on the floor.
Imagine not using a room of your blacksmith shop. Why?
Narvel shook his head as Ian's breath revealed a section of the stone floor of the room, complete with bloodstains. Oh.
Wait, you're breathing on the floor? How are you breathing that strongly? Okay.
Ian's blood. This was the place Ian had been standing when his father
8 years ago?
Explosed? Is that a word?
I don't think explosed is a word, no.
When his father explosed in
Oh no, explosed.
and sliced Ian's face, forever warning Ian to be wary. This was the last day Ian had seen his father. Ian sighed deeply, unintentionally clearing more of the dust away. How is he doing that?
He's really short. Also, bloodstains don't remain for 8 years unless it,
shrivels
climate
up
happens.
Yeah.
Like, any moisture rats, because apparently there were mouse traps that chop off people's feet. Like, there's gotta be something that has messed up the floor. It wouldn't just stay there, would it? Like, some of these roofs are leaky, apparently. That's why he fell in a bucket. I don't know. I don't buy that blood stain is still there.
Yeah.
I guess it's possible, but...
This revealed that there was a message scratched into the blood stain on the floor.
Excuse me?
Ian blew away some more dust to reveal the entire puddle of dried black blood.
Okay.
A knife had been used to scrape away the blood and write the message, "Sorry," on the floor. Is there a freaking ghost?
Sorry, he writes in the blood that you have spilled from your child.
Okay. Accompanied by an arrow pointing to the wall, Ian looked up at the wall in confusion.
Has Narvel never come into this room? Did he never bother to...
I don't know.
Check
it's not
out
like it's traumatizing for him. Okay. Noticing that one of the stones was sticking out slightly farther from the wall than the rest of them. It was about Ian's waist height now, though it would have been roughly shoulder height on Ian back on the night of his parents' death. Ian reached for it.
I'm still just baffled that Narvel has not done anything about this. And then this bloodstain has remained there. Clearly it was enchanted, and Narvel just was like, I'm gonna stay away from that room for a bit. Wow, Ian, you're just a regular bloodhound, aren't you? Narvel asked as Ian removed the loose stone, finding a hidden compartment in the wall. That's where I found the box with your knife. But look behind that, Narvel told Ian, who had already begun reaching even deeper into a hole in the wall to remove the small golden chest that resided there. Don't bother trying to take the chest out of there, Narvel laughed. It's stuck in there really well.
It was, Ian asked, holding up the fist-sized, rectangular, plain, undecorated golden chest. So many adjectives.
What is an undecorated golden? How can it be plain?
Pretty sky. Pretty.
Very pretty sky. It goes orange, then it goes pink, then it goes purple, then it goes blue.
Yeah.
I like it.
Pretty.
Very nice.
Anyway.
Yes, continue.
Where am
I bet they're going to be just as cringy as my old poems.
Oh no. It had a keyhole on the front and an oval-shaped depression on the top.
I like depression. Sorry. How did you get that out? Narvel asked in wonder. Ian shrugged, holding his hand out for the key. Narvel tossed it over unquestioningly, and Ian applied it to the keyhole. Strangely, though the key turned, and obviously was unlocking the box, the chest still would not open.
I'll take it to the wizard, Ian thought aloud, turning and
the
walking
wonderful
out
Wizard
of
of
the room.
Oz.
Narvel close behind. Goodbye. Thank you for the chest, he said, leaving the shop.
Typically you keep the same chest when I am living.
With the fairy still attempting to braid Ian's hair.
Huh. Alright. I do remember that this chest was actually kind of an interesting magical object, and I liked the concept, but I never got to use it for anything interesting, because the story was dumb. And also I didn't get very far, and I was not happy with the way I had introduced it. And, you know, just generally it felt a little overpowered as well. But I can reuse it in a D&D campaign sometime. That would be cool. Anyway. Where the heck did you get one of these? The wizard yelled in dumbfounded amazement. Ian shrugged as the fairy finally lost interest with Ian's hair and fluttered over to the wizard's bed.
I love wizards that say heck.
I know, I was also questioning the use of that word. Well, the frickety frack! Heck diddly darn!
My dad must have had it, Ian explained as the wizard turned the blue stone over and over in his hands.
Oh, we're talking about the stone, not the chest. I forgot about that. Okay. It is a dragon heart stone, the dragon breathed. And not just any heart stone either. I have never seen or heard of a blue dragon, nor seen or heard of a blue heartstone except this one. And I know who owned this heartstone. How do you know that if you've never heard of or seen this before? How do you know who had this? Okay, whatever. And I know who owned this heartstone, the wizard announced. Ian blinked, waiting for more. Tell me, Ian, was your father's name Balderdash? I mean Rabodash.
I mean Radagast. No, Ian replied confusedly. The wizard squinted, thinking hard.
Puzzling till my puzzler is sore. Then what could have happened? The wizard pondered. Then he suddenly sprang out of his bed and cried loudly, I know! I bet your father's name was Wade, wasn't it? He asked excitedly. Ian nodded, still confused. Oh, that old joker! The wizard laughed, collapsing back down on his bed as exhaustion again overtook him. I'm sorry, that venom is still affecting me, the wizard explained as he leaned back against the bed frame.
It's quite alright, Ian replied. Do you know something about my father that nobody else does?
Of course! He was a magical girl! He turned into a Sailor Moon person every evening. I don't know!
Every evening.
Every evening! Like, I had to listen to the theme song as he did his, like, transformation thing, and ribbons and rainbows, and it was real pain. I got bored.
Is the wizard okay?
He is not! I am not! Never have I been okay in my life! Ooh, shiny. Clouds are beautiful.
Yeah, they do.
I'm going into the light.
Oh, no.
I'm still poisoned. Clearly the poison is why he's having emotional problems. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, I know so many things about your father, the wizard smiled, shaking his head. He was one of my colleagues. He was one of the wizards that helped me curse the disc that we gave to the dragon. He was my closest friend and best defender during the rebellion, and he was definitely the most powerful student of magic of all of us. He was a genius, a complete genius. He was the youngest one of us all, but he was still an old codger in attitude. Okay. In fact, I'm rather surprised that he managed to charm a woman's heart at all.
Well, he did, for a little while.
Then he chucked a knife and, things did not go well.
And then he let his work supersede his family.
Oh, I see. Oh. Trauma. Even back then, I had the same worries.
Oof.
Oh, I see. Yes, that would be just like him, the wizard replied sadly. How did he die again? A measly little troll? That seems odd, considering that he faced the dragon himself and survived.
He died trying to save my mother from a fire. The troll showed up unexpectedly and killed them both. If what you say is true, then he really didn't want anyone to know that he could do magic, because no one in this village ever knew.
I see.
So, my father had a very rare magical dragon heartstone?
Yes, I am sure that it is the most powerful heartstone in the entire land. How can you be sure about that? You didn't know it existed. You didn't know that this kind could exist. But okay. Minus the flawless one that we gave to the dragon. Okay. This blue one would be the most powerful if it were perfect. But as you can see, there has always been a small crack. How would you know? You haven't seen... You said you hadn't seen this object.
There has always been a small
definitely
crack.
Did not develop when Ian kicked the statue. Nope, this has always been there. There has always been a small crack in the middle of it, but it is still an extraordinary tool which few magicians have. I know that Rabodash used to use its power to help him enchant an entire room of his gadgets so that he could fit it in his pocket and transport it anywhere. In fact, it was practically a mansion rather than a single room, but he always just called it his portable chess room. Once again, exposition out of nowhere, impossible knowledge that is confusing and contradictory with previous information, And, just not how you conversate properly, but sure, whatever.
What?
This story, if what is logical?
Nobody knows. The wizard grinned.
Your father used to have a unique little golden chest, which you happen to just have found, which he enchanted using his heartstone. This enchantment allowed the chest to become a door when it was opened, and this door led to a portable room that he could carry around with him, because it was inside the tiny little chest. Your father used it to transport big, heavy things from one place to another more quickly. It was an amazing enchantment, far beyond my skills. Rapidash was truly amazing, the wizard clarified. Ian thought for a moment.
Well, I didn't absorb any of that.
I have a cool portal gun! Kind of.
Chest to become a door when it was open.
Rapidash? Is that a Pokemon?
Store led to a portable room and you carry around with him because it was inside.
Long story short, you open up the chest, it becomes a room. You can put stuff in the room, close the box, you just a little box, move the room elsewhere.
It's worded so weirdly because the chest becomes a door, and the door
it's an ender
leads
chest.
to a
it's
room.
just an ender chest.
Okay. Sure.
Hello and welcome to the stream.
Oh, hello.
Jaina. I'm sorry you missed part 2. We gave a recap earlier, but we can give you a brief recap if you need it. Yeah, it is a Pokemon. Okay, cool, gotcha.
I figured it was.
Mm-hmm. Long story short, Ian tried to go after the troll that took his girlfriend and did not succeed because the wizard was like, bonk, knock you out with light.
Bonk.
And he's like, ow, why did you do that? Why do you want to stop me from saving your daughter? And he's like, because it's better if we wait a month and then save her after she's been starved almost to death.
Okay.
Huh? Yep, that's the plan. So they're slowly attempting to pull a revolution together, and the wizard said he was going to teach Ian magic or something, and I'm not really clear on exactly what's going on. We also had a perspective from the dragon, which was pretty fun.
That was fun.
I don't know if we started that the previous time. I thought we did. Maybe we didn't.
No, I don't think we did.
Okay, yeah, but we had a couple perspectives from the dragon, and that was entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
The dragon's a delightful little brat, and yeah, hopefully we'll get another perspective of him soon. Cool, because honestly, I'm enjoying that more than hearing about the exposition from the wizard and Ian's edgy trauma.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, things have been happening in a very serendipitous.
He acknowledges it.
I don't think I remember what that word means.
Serendipitous?
Wait, maybe I kind of do.
Serendipitous is like a really pleasant coincidence. Like,
okay.
oh wow, that's amazing that you just happened to mention this magical golden chest thing, and I just happened to have it. I just got it like 5 minutes ago. That's wow, what a coincidence. That's pretty great.
Okay, I did know what that meant. I just didn't know how to describe it. I guess.
Apparently, I knew this word when I was 16.
You probably just wanted to use it.
Clearly.
Things have been happening in a very serendipitous manner of late, Ian commented, lifting the little golden chest from his pocket and handing it to the wizard along with the key. The wizard's jaw dropped and he took the items in awe.
Well, I'm quite impressed. Ian, would you like to see what your father has in his personal room? The wizard asked. Ian blinked in shock. He dies on the spot.
I suppose it depends on what he has in there, he replied.
Just copious amounts of porn. I'm sorry.
Oh no!
It was too funny.
Copious amounts.
Well, he said, I suppose it depends on what he has in there.
The wizard smiled, placing the heartstone on the oval-shaped depression on the chest lid. Then, using the key to unlock it, instantly a glowing golden door frame appeared in the middle of the room, with a wooden door within. The golden key was in the door's keyhole, and the wizard held the blue heartstone. The fairy's eyes sparkled in awe, because she's still here.
Well, yeah, why is she here?
I don't know.
The wizard. The fairy.
The great
not the furry. Those are not what is in Ian's dad's room.
As she sat on the bed and stared at the door, and Ian gasped at the incredible sight. The door didn't appear to lead anywhere, as both sides of it were clearly visible, but Ian suspected that there were...
both sides? Oh.
You can just, you know.
He has eyes on both sides.
But Ian suspected that there was more to the magic door than met the eye. The wizard bowed... What? The wizard bowed Ian to the door with a wide grin, and Ian gasped as he opened it. Beyond the door was a large stone room full of fantastic inventions and scrolls of ideas. Now I know why my father never had time for me, Ian commented, surveying the huge room. It was lit by 4 flaming braziers at each corner of the room, which gave the room a golden, magical feel.
They've been burning for 8 years! For 30 minutes!
Ian stepped around the golden door frame, confirming that there was still nothing on the other side. It's bigger on the inside!
Wow!
Then took a few tentative steps into the enormous stone.
And then the wizard closes the box, says,
He
now
locks
I have
him
a...
in, like me in the attic.
I have a captured little boy. Why don't they just trap the dragon in there? Problem solved. He'll never get out, clearly.
The room was 100 yards long by 50 yards wide, and there were other doors along the walls too. The fairy flew in with him, then darted off to explore the maze of inventions.
We're never going to see that fairy again. Or maybe it's going to be like the secretary, the little librarian of the room.
Shroomy says, did I hear what I think I heard?
Yeah, Shroomy, I'm sorry.
You're shocking everyone with your scandalousness here.
I don't know. I just, you know, it was funny, and it was low-hanging fruit, okay? I really need to wash my hands. Every time I touch something, I get more cat fur on them, and then when I scratch my face, I just have sweaty hand cat fur all over my face, and it makes me sad.
Jana says, I swear Rapidash is a character from somewhere, but it just sounds like Radagast. Yeah, it just sounds like generic wizard man, you know? At least he has the name, though, and he's not just the wizard.
That's true.
That's better.
Well, I mean, this is Ian's dad.
Yeah.
The wizard still doesn't have a name yet.
The wizard.
Yep. It's probably gonna be something lame like Bruno.
Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno, no.
I wish that Bruno didn't talk so much.
Where?
Holy smokes, such impropriety. Wait, I can't read it.
Impropriety. You're right. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I repent of my sins. Well, what else could I have said that would have had the same laughter impact? Bicycles? No.
Children, kids.
That would be equally as bad, I guess. Wow. Imagine he was the dragon. All these people that have been going to the dragon were just hiding in this room. Gasp.
Plot twist. That would be very interesting if you open the door and just all the people that were sacrificed were there. He was
just
like, what?
Oh. Well, hello there.
Good movie.
Oh boy. Oh yeah, me next. Amazing, isn't it? The wizard commented as he followed, closing the door behind them. I thought he was still in bed because he was dying. Okay.
Yes. Is the door still there? Ian asked. The wizard turned back to the wooden door, which was still plainly there. Not the inside, the outside. I mean, can people still see that big golden door frame or open this door now? Ian questioned. The wizard grinned.
Good question! No, they cannot! We have completely disappeared from the real world right now. What? We have completely disappeared from the real world right now, and we cannot be bothered unless we open that door ourselves. Cool, pocket dimension.
So, where are we?
In the chest!
Where's the chest?
Where's the... Yeah, that's...
Can someone find it and steal it while we're here?
The chest is nowhere, I suppose. No one can bother us, don't worry. The only person who can control the chest and the room when it... what? The only person who can control the chest and the room when it is activated is the person with the heartstone used to activate it. Okay, that's convoluted. When we want to get out, we just open the door and the golden doorway will reappear in the last spot it was before we close the door. I have an in-depth knowledge and understanding about this magical object because my bro dude, I guess, maybe used it nearby me and explained in detail how it worked. Possibly. I don't know.
Cool. Thank you.
I am the exposition man. I give exposition about all the things that are necessary.
Yeah, definitely necessary.
I also explain all the edge cases that aren't necessary to explain yet.
Wow. Interesting. Ian replied, kneeling down in front of the door and peering through the keyhole. He saw the wizard's new room and bed, just like they had left it. So, you can use the room to easily and inconspicuously transport objects. Can you use it to hide and transport people as well? You're
right, Jaina. She says you weren't condoning anything, just suggesting the wizard isn't all that upstanding. I mean, he did chuck a knife at his child's face.
Yeah, who knows what else he gets up to.
Can use it to hide and transport people as well. I suppose. Unless Rapidash had tried to save some people from our village during the rebellion, I don't think it has ever been tried, though. Why?
Can you call him Wade? Ian asked.
Why?
The wizard shrugged. Because, I don't know. Maybe we can use this chest to get a bunch of sacrificed people out of the dragon's mountain, Ian theorized.
A bunch of sacrificed people. Okay.
People that have already been sacrificed.
Dragon poop! We can shovel this room full of dragon poop!
Oh, no.
Oh, that would be brilliant! He'd have no village to blame if the sacrifices were already inside his mountain. Okay, let's test it to be sure it's safe,
The wizard replied, handing Ian the heartstone.
What? Ian asked as the wizard opened the door again and shoved Ian through.
What?
Time stops in the room if it's closed, as long as the person holding the heartstone and key isn't inside it and the room is in its chest form. Your father did that so his projects wouldn't decay or something while he was gone. I'm sure it's perfectly safe when you turn it back into a chest, and there are people in the room, but I'd like to make sure.
Yes, by testing it on myself, just in case I
really
cease to
not
exist.
Okay.
He is suicidal, probably.
Take the key out of the door, and you can do that. And you can do what I did to bring the room back. The heartstone activates the chest automatically because of its enchantment. Try it, the wizard encouraged, closing the door.
Are you sure about? Ian asked. Then he sighed, realizing that the wizard would have to be pretty sure to risk his life on it. Ian was back in the wizard's room, but the wizard was still in the chest room. He was confused, but he did what the wizard had said. He locked the wooden door, took the key out of the keyhole, and watched in amazement as the golden doorway instantly shrank back into its original form, a golden chest. Ian was utterly amazed as he picked the chest up, walked across the room, put the heartstone on top, and turned the key in the chest lock. Instantly, the golden doorway reappeared, and Ian found that the heartstone had somehow found its way back into Ian's hand. Ian opened the door, finding the wizard standing there. It worked? It worked.
Yes, I suppose.
Great. Now give me the heartstone and I'll prove that the door vanishes when the person with... Oh, that's not me. Wait, what?
Oh.
It worked!
Yes, I suppose.
Great! Now give me the heartstone and I'll prove that the door vanishes when the person with the stone is inside.
The wizard ordered. Ian gave him the stone, and the wizard... Why are we demonstrating this? This is not a tech demo. And the wizard closed the door. Instantly, the door vanished without a trace, and Ian found himself staring at the wall. Ian smiled in amazement. The keyhole was not even there. Suddenly, the door and the door frame reappeared as the door opened to reveal the beaming wizard.
Told you so! You wouldn't even hear me yelling through the keyhole, or you couldn't even hear me yelling through the keyhole.
No, Ian replied.
Fantastic! What an incredible magical tool! But before we play with our new toys anymore, we need to begin teaching you about how to use and control magic. Maybe you will follow your father's footsteps and...
I hope not. Not all of them, at least, Ian interrupted. The wizard sighed.
Yes, your father could be difficult at times, but do not dwell in the past. Let's teach you a few things now, shall we?
Oh, we get an Ia perspective.
Well, how do I still have cat fur in my face? I'll be back.
I will read the chat.
Okay.
I was so confused on keyholes in cartoons when I was little. Like, how can you see through them? I guess the old-fashioned ones, but not really nowadays.
This is why I don't like the cats.
Jana says,
For
"Pig
everyone.
boy, feed the pigs, boy." Hope you had a St.
Boy.
I can't even read. Hope you had a happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, we are not wearing green. We must be pinched.
But it's not today anymore, is
Oh.
it? It wasn't Thursday?
Frankly, I don't remember.
I think it was Thursday.
Okay.
Um,
Alice in Wonderland vibes. Yeah, you're kind of right.
yeah,
Just
it
chaos
is.
happening here and there, getting magical artifacts and figuring out how to use them, usually by eating them.
Yeah.
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 Bad.
I am being patted.
I was so confused on keyholes in cartoons when I was little. Like, how can you see through them? That is a good point.
Yeah,
Because there's mechanisms in there.
Like, maybe
Can't
the
you
old-fashioned ones were, like, different,
Maybe.
but today
I mean,
you
it
can't
was
ever really...
Classic thing, yeah. But yeah, definitely not these days.
Yeah.
But even the old ones that I've seen, like, I've never actually seen one that you could see through. But I guess that's the classic way you look into a room. So I'm sure it was a thing at some point, right? Maybe?
I guess, unless someone just made it up and then everyone went with it.
I have no idea. That's interesting. I'm kind of curious about that. I kind of want to look that up now. Whatever. All right. We get an Ia chapter.
Oh my gosh,
boy.
Ia.
Oh boy, it only took us, 56 pages to have a new perspective added inexplicably out of nowhere. I mean, to be fair, we just inexplicably started getting dragon chapters as well, so that was fun. Do you want to read, or should I? I mean, you could be her voice, I guess.
Yeah, in her voice, but...
Ia swallowed hard, trying to remain strong as the collection troll lumbered forth, drawing closer and closer to the gigantic looming mountain of the dragon. Every great step the troll took rocked her rickety wooden cage, which was strapped to the troll's enormous back. She sat uncomfortably in the trap, staring past the leering face of the hobgoblin that sat atop her cage. She sighed in hopeless sorrow, looking up at the incredible mountain. How close is she? How can she possibly see it through the troll's back at this point if he's going towards it? There was no rain anymore, as the troll had come into the shadow of the smoke clouds that resided above and around the large, ominous stone mountain. So she's like almost there, right?
That's what it seems.
She's like, this is a month later? Is that what's happening?
I don't know.
She starves to death. I'm confused. The mountain was a fortress which no one could scale, and it had but one entrance that Ia could see, which looked like a fiery mouth complete with sharp teeth. Suddenly the entire mountain began to crack and crumble, and the fiery mouth opened wider and wider. The mountain was the dragon. Ia clutched the bars of her cage in terror as the entire mountain lunged, sending loose bits of stone every which way. The gigantic dragon took flight, beating its vast leathery wings to keep its enormous scaly gray body in the air as it quickly reached Ia. She looked around, finding that the troll and hobgoblin had vanished. All four of the dragon's huge feet were reaching for her, and the claws on each were growing longer and longer and longer. That's the third necessary one. Preparing to usher her into the great fiery mouth that now hovered directly above her inescapable cage. Ia awoke suddenly, finding that they still had not reached the mountain. Rain still beat down upon the dim world, and the all-too-familiar sound of the troll's footsteps could still be heard. Ia sighed dejectedly, unsure about how long she could stand this torturous journey. There were stories about sacrifices that had tried to escape on their own, but the hobgoblin's magic always recaptured the escapees easily. How do these stories get out? Who tells these stories if everyone dies?
It's the wizard who knows everything.
It's the dragon with propaganda for some reason.
Bad-mouthing people.
Yeah, exactly. Ia growled angrily, punching her cage in frustration. There was nothing to do but sit and wait, listening to the sounds and thinking about her imminent demise. She looked around at the world around her, but could not see much because of the dense rain clouds that blocked out the sun while simultaneously drenching everything. Hypothermia, my dudes. And also, whatever those... What diseases do you get from, like, being constantly wet? Like gangrene or something?
Yeah,
or like
I think so.
strep foot?
Strep
I don't
foot.
know. Strep foot. Boot foot? I don't know. I forget what it's called. Boot foot.
Oh no,
Oh
guys,
no,
I
I'm
have
growing
boot foot.
boots on my foot. Help. Ia looked up, noticing that the hobgoblin druid was asleep. She froze, seeing ample opportunities for escape. Ample? She's still in a cage. She needs to bite her way through the securing mechanisms of this cage. She could escape her cage while the hobgoblin slept, or even kill him, assuming she had a weapon she could steal. Or assuming he had a weapon she could steal. Yeah, sure. How are you going to do that? Whatever. But then she sighed, knowing that no matter what she did, if the dragon did not end up receiving her, her entire village would suffer. And Ian.
Oh, Ian.
You want to take a
Ia
chunk?
bit her fist to stop her emotions. Her entire fist that she bit.
You just become mildew and get consumed by the mildew monster.
Oh no.
Oh no. You become moldy fart.
Ah, moldy noodle.
Just a moss-covered boy.
Ian would do what Ia had said. She knew it. He would figure out some way to mobilize mankind's resources and mount an assault on the dragon. Yeah, the 16-year-old boy will do that. And if Ia could buy him some more time...
superior edginess.
Yeah, by allowing herself to die for the cause, so be it. But she wasn't happy about it, not in the slightest. Ia sighed with a mixture of horrid thoughts and feelings. If only she had been more successful when her father had tried to train her in the ways of magic, Despite her strongest efforts, she just could not get the hang of it, because she hadn't accepted the elf Jesus.
Oh no.
Which meant that she could not magically She could not magically influence the hobgoblin into saying he had delivered a sacrifice, though Ia had actually escaped. Suddenly, a great drawn-out groan came from the troll as it tossed its head back. The hobgoblin druid sat up and yawned.
Oh, well, I get to make up a voice for the hobgoblin druid? Oh boy.
What do you want, you worthless lump of filth?
The hobgoblin druid asked the troll harshly. The troll turned its head in an attempt to see the druid, then gave him a mournful pleading.
Oh, come on! It's only been 4 days since the last time you rested. Is there something wrong with you, you lazy worm?
The troll gave no reply, wordlessly stepping off the road and beginning to fight through the dense trees, primarily by knocking them over.
Oh, no. Really? How long are you going to sleep, you dumb rock? I know you haven't had much food lately, but can you at least wait until we find a nice cave by the side of the road?
The druid yelled. The unresponsive troll continued to hike through the forest, determinedly searching for a suitable place to sleep. Apparently. He remained silent, observing the situation with excited wonder. So trolls do need to sleep, Ia thought smugly, glad for the time this was spying. Maybe, just maybe, Ian would be able to get something planned in time to save her from becoming a main course for the dragon. More like an appetizer, or a toothpick. The druid sighed annoyedly, as the troll fought his way to a point at which there were taller, denser trees. Finally, they came upon a sheltered clearing that the troll deemed suitable for resting in. This done, the troll immediately fell forward and landed face first on the ground, instantly beginning to snore loudly.
I refuse to read more.
Ia and the druid were pitched forth by this motion, and while Ia hit her head on the wooden cage rather hard, the hobgoblin flew completely off the troll and landed on a slab of rock.
Oh.
The druid sat up, cursing, then resolved to sit on Ia's cage to keep watch until the troll wake up. Ia rubbed her head gingerly as the rain suddenly stopped, and the leaves of the trees provided the troll's only protection from the sun. Well, that was a short little segment.
Okay.
I like my hobgoblin voice. I will not remember it next time I need to do it. Oh, who is this? What's
Wizard.
happening? Oh no.
I am very impressed. Some people have skills with learning new things, but you are extraordinarily gifted
Of
with a
course.
proclivity towards magic.
The wizard cried happily. Ian raised his eyebrows.
Really? I've succeeded in doing absolutely nothing so far.
I thought Ian doesn't have magic, and like
Yeah,
his
that's
power is just
yeah.
he is really bad at it. I thought he literally was like a hole in magic, and magic just doesn't work for him to the point where he
Wasn't
can
that
break
your
spells
other
by
guy
touching.
too?
What other guy?
From your time travel story? Who
Oh
was a magic
yeah.
uncle?
Oh yeah. Okay, so maybe I didn't use that because I thought that would be weird to reuse it. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering things, but I thought that maybe it was in my notes for like later in this document, like after 100 pages of nonsense. That's when I put all the notes of things that I wanted to go back and change when I did edit it, but I haven't yet. Things that
Haven't
were
yet.
going to things that were going to be used to like finish writing the story that I never ended up doing.
Ian,
and
true
probably
main
will not.
character. Oh yeah.
Wow,
Gotta
wow.
Be extra good.
Gotta be cool at things.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
boy, no effort required here. Mary, Stu, Gary, man, whatever.
Mary Stu Gary, man.
Shush.
Where am I? I wouldn't exactly call that an amazing performance, Ian responded flatly. The wizard waved his hands, dismissing this fact as unimportant. Tee.
You have stolen one of my M&Ms.
What you gonna do about
Cry. Because I'm so edgy.
it?
Well, of course you haven't succeeded with intentionally doing any magic yet. No one does on their very first try. You can't even move a feather without touching it or blowing it right now because I haven't yet told you how. I've just told you to try doing so.
How can you tell he's doing well if he's just going,
I don't know.
He doesn't know what he's doing, bruh.
And because I tried, even though you refused to answer my questions about how, and I failed miserably, you think I have a proclivity to doing magic? I can only imagine what you'll say if I actually ever succeed if you tell me what to do, Ian commented sarcastically.
That
The
was
wizard rolled his eyes.
phrasing.
That was a little weird.
The fact that you trusted me enough.
Yeah, chucking a knife at his head or whatever.
The fact that you trusted me enough to try something, even when you have absolutely no idea what you're doing, tells me a lot. And the conversation we've been having over the past several hours have told me a lot about your intelligence and attitude. And I can tell that you already have the right mindset for magic, which is half the battle, since you use your mind to perform acts of magic.
Oh, so during all that talking...
I've been boring you out of your mind. I mean, yes, I was just testing you, and you passed with flying colors, the wizard smiled. Now we just need to test a few more things, and then we'll be able to see if you have the second necessary element for using magic. The actual capability for doing it.
What do you mean? Ian asked as the wizard turned around.
It means you could be a poop with no genetic capability, and you're just... sucks to be you. Sorry. Once again. Go crossing the line.
Suddenly the wizard was throwing another knife at Ian's
Bruh,
face.
why? Why?
Instinct wrenched Ian to the side just in time, and the knife buried itself in the tree behind Ian. Ian glared at the wizard, who glared back. They stared at each other in the late afternoon
This
sun.
is not building trust. This is reliving his emotional trauma.
Oh,
Excuse
gosh.
me. Even if this were not something that he has specifically dealt with in the past and has traumatized him to high heaven, this is still not a good way to train your students. This is not trust exercises. This is just straight up abuse. I don't care what you have to say for yourself, wizard. You're a moron, and this is rude.
Yeah, you're not good at this.
Mm-hmm.
They stared at each other in the late afternoon sun because it's high noon.
It's high noon.
That was basking the entire clearing in a heavenly glow. They had been there for hours at the cliff from which Ian had departed the night before.
Unnecessary details makes terrible clunky sentence structures.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
once we sort out the last few problems with your mental aspect, then we can see whether or not you have the physical capability to use magic. Not everyone has the capability, just not all elves can do it. Even if the curse is removed, some people just can't use magic because of any one of a number of possible reasons. For example, my daughter, despite her mindset and freedom from the curse, tried for years to learn magic, but she just didn't have the neurological capability to make the physical brain connections required to do it. That sounds very scientific and neurological, but in fact it's just stupid. I don't know why, it's just one of those random things.
So what's the point of the whole Jesus allegory?
I don't know!
Some people who accept this magical
It's
elf.
ham-fisted and stupid!
It's like saying, hey, some of you that accept Jesus still aren't going to be saved just because reasons.
Just because you're stupid, I guess.
Yeah, because you're
Oh,
just
well.
not good enough.
I'm so sorry.
That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think the wizard needs to be referred for psych evaluation. Miracle in 34th
Are you
Street.
high at noon? Not no.
Yeah, some teachers should not be teachers.
Spooky red eyes.
He is happy.
I made a smiley face out of M&M's, but he has red creepy eyes.
Yeah.
So I remove one.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Oh, I see, Ian replied. Do many people have this condition?
No, just you.
Sorry.
I don't know. Not many people care enough to even try the right mindset first, so I have limited experience with it.
So...
Yeah, they don't trust people to chuck knives at their face enough. That's clearly how you use magic somehow.
This man is crazy.
He really is. I'm convinced he's a bad guy. He's a demon in disguise.
That would be
He's just
nice.
some forest creature that was like, I'm gonna blast this man with magic.
It would be
Whoa.
funny if, like,
It's all a
literally
dream.
all the exposition he gave was
Is
just
all
completely
wrong.
false.
It's all
and
lies.
He's just been utterly deceived. That would be funny.
I would love it.
Ian began reaching for the knife in the tree trunk. His hand passed right through it. It's an imaginary dagger,
Wow.
and it vanished instantly afterwards. Ian looked at the wizard.
Yes, you need to learn trust.
No! No!
Not how that works.
So many no! Bread. What are you, wizard?
An idiot sandwich. Jada says it. So what we're saying is magic is a mental disorder.
I don't know what I was a teenager. I don't know what's happening here. Okay.
Bread.
Yes, you need to learn trust. Not in order to be able to use magic, but so I'll be able to train you. I intend to tell you some strange things, and if you don't learn to trust me in whatever happens and do precisely what I tell you, you might wind up dead. Just fair disclosure.
Just don't throw knives at me. You'll be okay. Well, I do trust you. I just...
Take off your shirt.
Take off your clothes.
No, Peter.
What?
Take off your shirt.
Why? Ian asked suspiciously.
Just do it. The wizard insisted. I have something I'd like to tell you called enjoyment.
No, what's happening?
I don't know.
I'm very concerned. Past self, what were you smoking? Oh, sorry. The
Finish
wizard
your lines.
insisted. There was a pause of several seconds while Ian just stared at the wizard in utter confusion
Me too.
and concern. Then Ian looked down to find that there was now a venomous snake crawling out of Ian's shirt, turning its head towards Ian. Wizard, are you a freaking psychopath?
What is wrong
Why?
with you?
Why would you do this?
Whoa, okay. Sorry, Ian shouted as the snake prepared to strike. I get your point. Can you make it disappear now?
Oh no,
Ian
that one's
asked,
real. Sorry. Guess you'll die.
Trying to back away in vain.
You can't back away, it's in your shirt!
The wizard simply stood there.
Oh, this is how the
expressionlessly-
rattlesnake grabbed my
Oh.
neck.
The wizard simply stood there, expressionlessly watching. Ian grabbed the snake around the neck just as it was about to lunge and stopped it. Unfortunately, then it began to try biting Ian's hand. It really is the snake from your dream.
Ian, the wizard warned.
What? Ian asked, glancing at the motionless wizard. Ian waited for a moment before realizing what the wizard wanted.
What do you mean?
Fine.
Why are you still wanting him to take off his clothes?
This wizard's weirding me
This
out.
wizard makes me want to die.
Ian shouted,
This
keeping
is
one
why I
hand-
couldn't handle reading anymore from last time.
keeping one hand around the snake's neck while wrenching his shirt over his head with the other. Ian then tossed the shirt away. I'm picturing Zuko when he just like rips off his shirt and just yeets it. Ian tossed the shirt away and turned to glare at the
Fire.
wizard.
You have to learn to trust me.
You have given him no good reason to
You
do
have
that.
only made him more upset about you. I am upset at you. The wizard pointed out as the snake began crawling out of the bundle on the ground before vanishing into thin air.
Questions. Jada says, why did 16-year-old EJ write a complete creep of a mentor?
I don't know! I think I just didn't know how to write a good mentor. So I was like, how can I have him be mysterious and weird and like ask him to do challenging things, but like I don't actually know what the magic system is or like what actual training he needs to do or anything. Alright, I'll just have him build trust first. Trust exercises. I don't know how to do
Take
those.
off your shirt or I'll put a snake in it.
This is literally just like abuse and gaslighting and like
yeah, this is like he's
holy
trying to
cow.
gain absolute control by fear or something.
I don't like it. I don't like this at all.
Jada says, okay, maybe EJ was right about the wizard's interests and hobbies.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I will start
I'm
planning
sure
an
that I
escape
planned
plan
to.
at this point.
I'm sure I planned to go back and like once I figured out how the magic system works, I would actually go in and add like a more relevant test of strength, test of knowledge, test of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just a weird placeholder, and I don't like it. I don't think it's a good thing. Nope, don't agree.
Jada says, good phrasing and alliteration. Not good. Pedo wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
like
no.
him. He's weird.
Oh, he is not a good boy.
No, don't like.
Mhm.
Fine, I'll trust you.
Okay.
But can you quit testing my trust in such weird ways? Ian replied angrily. Having a knife thrown at my face is the one thing I can't force myself to allow. My dad traumatized me by doing that exact thing, and I'll just never be able to forget the pain that I felt when I got this scar, Ian argued, feeling that deep line on his face. I'm sorry. Trust is just not my thing. I've been betrayed or failed by everyone around me. There isn't a single person I know that has never hurt me in some way. I've always
What
had to look
about
after
the girl?
myself and rely on my strength only.
I know, but because trust is the one hardest thing for you to do, that is the one specific thing we need to test you in. You need to let go. We need you to do we need you to do the things that are hardest for you to do. But we need you to do the things that are hardest for you to do. If you are truly going to become great, you can't hold back in any way, the wizard pointed out. Ian sighed, looking at the ground. At least
I'll
it was
try.
somewhat self-aware, like realizing that it's a weird test and, you know,
Yeah.
that he has trauma associated with it. So at least I wasn't completely, like, unaware of what I was doing.
Mhm.
I still don't agree with the choice,
Oh
but...
gosh, I just saw the next line. I'll
What?
try.
Where? I lost it.
The middle of the page.
Middle of the page. I'll try. No! Good. Now leap off this cliff. The wizard instructed. Ian looked up at the wizard's grave face, trying not to laugh.
Can't we wait to
Throw
do
yourself from the highest turret!
She'll jump. Can't we wait to do another one of these tests until...
No, you can't put back on your shirt yet. Jump into the wilderness.
Oh dear.
There's no time like the present. It's now or never. Don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today. Inspirational quote here.
Look before you leap, Ian retorted with a hesitant grumble. The wizard slapped his forehead in frustration at
Ouch!
with Ian's wry retort. That's hard to say. Then he pointed to the cliff. Fine, Ian relented, taking a running start, but stopping just short of the incredibly high drop.
No.
You'll catch
Jump!
me, right? Ian asked. Upon getting no response, he took a deep breath, controlled his fear, and jumped.
Alright, that's taken care of. I'm gonna go and do something else.
What we need is therapy and a good mentor/friend group for support.
Yeah, this poor
Oh
man.
gosh.
This wizard is not what he needs in his life right now.
No, don't jump off cliffs just because a weird, creepy wizard told you to.
Yeah, okay. Who are we? What's this? What's
I don't
happening
know.
here? Something about goblins. Alright.
Oh, it's the dragon. He's being the dragon.
Oh, okay. Is this a dragon, like, having an interview for a new
Oh
messenger?
boy.
What was my dragon voice? I know it killed my voice
I
last
think it
time.
was like, I'm very impressed.
Alright, I'm gonna have to stop eating M&Ms because I can feel that it's gonna mess up my dragon voice.
Gotta perfect that dragon voice.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's mostly just I don't want to choke on, like, getting one of those little sharp, like, stone pieces.
Stone pieces.
Well, isn't it, like, actually a rock that they use on the outer coating of
I don't know
M&Ms?
if it still is. I know it was at one point. I just look in the ingredients for it. Rocks.
Rocks! Milk, chocolate, sugar, blah, blah. So. Lactic and salt. Artificial and natural flavor, sugar less than 0% coloring. Something about a lake. Red 40 Lake? What is
There's
Red
a
40?
lake in there?
There's 40 red lakes in here, I guess. Dendrexin cornstarch. Carnabula wax.
Oh no.
Carnauba wax.
Jaina said,
It does not
Ethan
say
is
if it contains
fire.
rocks.
Ethan is death.
I am Smog, actually. Okay.
I'm very impressed. Some goblins have skills with learning new things, but
This is the same line the wizard was using.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh my god.
Why? This is not, like, clever reflectivity or foreshadowing. Well, I guess it could be, I suppose, if it's supposed to set up that, and then this goblin guy is going to be, like, the anti-hero or something. That could be
There's a
interesting.
song called The Anti-Hero.
Anyway.
some goblins have skills with learning new things, but you are extraordinarily gifted with a proclivity toward performing the duties involved with this position,
The dragon praised happily.
and I don't give compliments very often. Be proud. You are my new messenger.
The dragon announced, turning and walking away from the tiny, red-skinned, pointy-eared, and squinty-eyed goblin who had performed flawlessly in the dragon's interview. Why did he have an interview?
That's funny.
It is funny. The dragon still made a clanking sound as he walked. Clunk, clunk, since he had taken a very great liking to his new armored foot. It is gold. Gold is notoriously malleable. It's not going to do much in terms of armor, but I mean, I guess if it's thick enough, whatever. Sure, you do you, man. But I guess it's an alloy of also silver or whatever else happened to be in that pile, so no big deal. The dragon had decided to leave his silver and gold boot on, but slightly alter it so that he could freely move and bend his fingers. He had done this by himself, by heating the metal, then cutting it with his claws. The dragon now had a very admirable metal gauntlet. Which no... Hold on.
Wow.
I am Thanos of the
I am
M&Ms.
The wizard.
I can snap my clawed fingers and half the goblins in this mountain will disappear.
How did I hurt myself
You hurt
by
yourself?
snapping? I just like almost broke a nail.
You
I don't
have
know
too much
how I
power.
did that. Okay. Deb says, what's the difference between a goblin and a hobgoblin?
Frankly, I don't know. I think one's just slightly uglier. I don't remember. I know I looked it up when I was doing research for this story. I don't remember anymore. If anyone wants to look that up, Darkness is already looking up whether you can look through keyholes. Maybe they could tell us. Yeah, I would love to know because I don't remember. Where did I leave off? Okay. The dragon now had a very admirable metal gauntlet which no longer restricted movement, and dramatic rumors and legends had already begun to spread around the mountain about his interesting transformation. The dragon left the room as the new goblin messenger turned to the only other creature that had applied for the position, a skinny, pug-faced hobgoblin. The goblin smiled smugly.
Oh, are we gonna do voices for them? Oh boy.
Let's see, who's who. The goblin is, I guess. Yeah, do you want to be the pudgy pudge orc goblin, the hobgoblin, and I'll be the goblin without a hob in front of it?
Okay.
Well, my old friend, it seems that I have been promoted from chief record keeper to messenger number 1.
The goblin laughed. The hobgoblin glared jealously.
He'll probably kill you by tomorrow, Ligark.
Ew. I mean, I guess he's a goblin, but
How
still,
would you pronounce
ew.
that? Ligark?
I like Ligark better. It just sounds
Ligark?
better, but Ligark just sounds like a ligament in
Yeah.
your arc. Sorry.
Who? The dragon? Oh no, the dragon won't kill me.
The goblin chuckled, shaking his head.
Why not? He killed his last messenger.
Yes, because the poor fool told the dragon something he didn't want to hear.
The goblin replied knowingly, tapping the side of his pierced nose from which a gold ring hung.
And how do you intend to avoid that same situation? The hobgoblin asked suspiciously.
By always telling the dragon what he wants to hear, of course.
Even if it's untrue? The hobgoblin asked in disbelief.
Yes, of course. Don't you see? I tell the dragon what he wants to hear. The dragon loves me and thinks I'm great. I don't have to tell him any bad news. I can just pretend I did if anyone else asks, and nobody but the dragon will ever know that the report I gave was falsely good.
But what if the dragon talks to someone else about it and they tell him the truth? You'll be dead.
Oh no, the dragon has anger management issues. When he gets mad, he immediately takes out his anger on some boars.
He just has a room full of boars for when he gets mad.
He immediately takes out his anger on whomever is giving him the bad news, whether it is their fault or not. So I'm not going to be around for that. I'll let him roast some other fool who tells him the truth. If the dragon then comes to me and asks if I lied, I'll play all innocent and say, "It wasn't your poor likable servant. They told me to say that. I didn't know. They must not have wanted you to be mad, your gloriousness. And then, since they'll be all cooked piece of meat by that point, they won't be able to refute my story. And if they aren't dead, it'll be my word versus theirs. So all I need to do is keep the dragon liking me more than everyone else. I'm going to suck up as much as possible. It's pure genius," the tricky goblin explained. The hobgoblin stared, awestruck.
That's so wrong. I'm going to report you. The goblin
Way to
sputtered
spout your
fearfully.
entire evil plan
I
before you have
know.
even begun to execute it. Like, you'd
Thank
think you'd
you.
want to secure your place a little better first, but alright, whatever.
Welcome to the blame game, my friend. If you want to keep your life in a mountain with an evil dragon in charge, you can't be a goody two-shoes. That's just not the way it works. You gotta look out for number 1. Do whatever it takes for personal gain. Doesn't matter if you break the rules, get around him. The dragon will kill you if he finds out how evil you are, so you just have to act good enough and be a mastermind like me. Look, if you tell on me, you'll have no proof, and I'll play innocent. I haven't even done anything yet. Plus, if the dragon already likes me better than you, so I'll just claim you're a jealous brat who wants my position and is slandering me. Then we'll see who winds up a shish kebab. Catch my drift? Ligark asked threateningly. The hobgoblin stood there, utterly confounded for several seconds. Nice to have you on my side, eh? Ligark teased, giving the motionless hobgoblin a light punch on the arm as he turned and left the chamber.
Wow, I love show don't tell. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, we could have
could've
implied all
seen-
that just by like.
With like a singular scene, you could have implied all that, but instead he's just like, "Hey, don't you see? This is my evil plan." Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, I mean, we could have implied that with like 2 lines as well.
Yeah.
Like, not even had him explain the plot. We could have just seen him do it.
Yeah. But, you know, why do that when you could just give paragraphs of exposition?
I guess the interview was funny, but it would have been so much better if we just had, had him be like, "Oh yeah, here's the news," and have him be like, "That's not the news. What are you talking about? What? No, this is the news we're supposed to give." And he'd be like, "No, it's fine. I'm not gonna be around.
You want to give him that news? Go right ahead.
I am not gonna die. Not today." Okay, so Goblin is often portrayed as an evil and malicious, while a Hobgoblin tends to traffic more in mischief than malice. Oh, okay, cool.
Now that you say that, I guess that makes sense.
Nice.
Okay.
Wait, what? Oh, Ned turns into Hobgoblin in the Marvel Comics. Gasp. Oh no.
Really?
Interesting. Depends on the world building. Ned becomes Hobgoblin and Osborn is just Green Goblin, so I guess that's a difference. But for Tolkien, goblins and orcs are basically the same thing, but different types of orcs. Okay. Interesting.
Huh.
Cool stuff.
Wait, so I didn't even know that Ned was in the comics. I don't know things, guys. I only know what's in the movies. So is he gonna be a supervillain? That'd be funny. He promised
I
he
don't know.
wouldn't, but you know.
I
In
mean-
the words of Andrew Garfield or whatever, the best type of promises are the ones you don't keep. I don't freaking remember what he said.
Wow.
Oh boy. Okay. Hey! Ia yelled at the Hobgoblin Druid, poking him violently. The Hobgoblin, who had been dozing, looked up, opening his eyes.
You're peeing in your sleep on me!
I'm thirsty, I need a drink, she informed him, chewing on the small piece of food that the Hobgoblin Druid had given her.
As I said, I forgot this guy's voice already. His voice was like...
Very nasally and annoying, I feel like.
Oh, well, that's your problem.
The creature sighed grumpily.
If I die, the dragon isn't going to be happy with you, Ia warned. The druid sighed heavily, waving his staff. Instantly, rain clouds materialized above the tree cover and darkened the landscape. Thunder rolled across the land as rain began to trickle through the dense leaves. Thank you, Ia cried as she began drinking what water landed on her face and in her mouth.
That's so inefficient.
Yeah. After several minutes, she had
Why,
finally drunk
it probably
her fill.
cost more energy to cast a spell that creates a thunderstorm than to just, like, cup of water. Alright, jerk.
After several minutes, she had drunk her fill somehow, and she motioned to the druid that he could stop making it rain. Making it rain. He did so, but droplets of water continued to fall from the tree leaves long after the clouds vanished. Sorry to inconvenience you, Ia apologized.
Hey, it's my job. I take care of the prisoners, I deliver messages, I collect taxes, and take care of the troll.
The druid relayed. Ia nodded. For several minutes, they merely sat there, staring at the falling droplets of water that the leaves were dropping. Then Ia spoke.
Do they always sleep this long? She asked in mild annoyance.
I hate my life!
Which had been asleep for a day and a half and still showed no signs of waking.
Yes, unfortunately, they can go for a really long time without rest. But
I've given...
A really long time without rest.
I'm slipping into the same kind of voice that I was getting for the other guy now. The Ligarch.
Well, he was more like smooth and...
That's true. Okay.
This guy's just nasty sounding. I liked his slight New York accent.
they can go for a really long time without rest. But when they finally need to crash, it can take days or even weeks to wake them up.
The druid complained.
I don't think this will be for too much longer, though. He had a nap just a few days ago.
I like the evolution of his voice.
I can't keep a voice consistent to save my life, unless I have a visual aid. If I have, like, a visual to go with the character, I can kind of keep him the same kind of thing, because my brain always looks at him and goes, ah, this is their voice. But if I'm just kind of making it up, I kind of forget what I did previously, and it just evolves over time.
Well, now he's a nasally New Yorker.
He is a nasally New Yorker now. I didn't know I could even do a New Yorker accent, but apparently I can.
I see, Ia replied thoughtfully, staring at the snoring creature upon which her cage rested. The forest clearing was strewn with dead logs and fallen leaves, and covered with many thorns. The light that filtered through the dense leaf cover was dim and depressing. Ia shivered at the
Like
sight.
this story.
Ia shivered at the sight of the unhealthy trees in the dying forest. Where are all the tree dryads, forest nymphs and fairies and things? Ia asked sadly.
Most of the creatures in much of the forest have been dead for years, but there's a few little places that have stayed the same. Happy, life-supporting environments that they were because the... Oh, stayed the same happy, life-supporting environments that they were because the dragon minions just happened to overlook those areas.
The hobgoblin replied, giving into conversation because of his absolute boredom.
You mean the dragon was destroying the forest on purpose? Ia asked in shock.
Of course, the dragon wanted to leave the humans as helpless as possible, and as helpless and hopeless as possible, trapped in their small villages without the option of escaping into the vast, beautiful forest. He wanted to be sure there was no chance that people would try to leave his influence. He's a genius. He's got like an IQ of 12. That's like twice as much as me.
Jada says, "You're gonna go into battle dressed like a depressed youth pastor." These voices are golden. Yeah, Ethan's good at voices. I'm not, but he can do things. That's me with my siblings. Sometimes I think they're dead sometimes because they won't wake up. I try to wake them up. Oh no.
They sleep for days? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, on the Lucy arc, the trees used to dance and all.
I don't know. Reminds me of
Is that
Fangorn. I don't know.
is that like Narnia? I don't know.
I don't know.
That horrible beast, Ia growled. The hobgoblin cringed, looking around carefully
He
before
can
replying.
hear you everywhere.
Sorry.
I actually agree with you.
Druid concurred, leaning forward and speaking in a hoarse whisper.
He mistreats the slaves as much or worse than he mistreats his subjects. Kills us whenever it pleases him. He forces us to do all the dirty work. Do you think I asked to waste my entire life making a bit of rain and hiding on a stupid creature's back?
The Hobgoblin Challenge. I am loving this voice too.
I can just imagine him like driving a taxi. Like,
I'm a taxi driver in New York, but it's the dragon. It's a stupid, smelly troll. My talents are wasted making rain puddles everywhere. I'm losing my mind. Haven't seen my family in months.
Can I interest you in a revolution?
What's a revolution?
Well,
Is
you
that
see,
like
my
dancing?
edgy boyfriend is gonna get some people.
You have a boyfriend? Now that's the weirdest thing I heard all day.
Well, I mean, you see, he's not really my boyfriend.
Everyone voted you into a cage,
Because,
stupid. I don't think anyone
he's-
likes you.
He's too edgy to say anything, but you know, he's actually.
Oh, is he really a
he-
weak boyfriend then? He didn't bother to save you.
He gave me the necklace thing from his mom, so that's when you know that it's
Oh,
true
mother, let it
love.
rock, say no more.
I love him. Prince Caspian reference, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Started to
Cool.
sound like Daniel Thrasher. I don't know who that is.
I don't know either. Wait, is that a guy that plays piano on YouTube? Skits with
I
piano?
know who that is, but is that?
I
But
have
he
no
doesn't
idea.
sound like that, so I don't know.
I don't know.
Unless he has a New York character that I'm unaware of.
I don't know.
You realize that you don't have to obey him, Ia pointed out. There are enough of you to completely overthrow his mountain and kill the dragon and restore peace to this evil-stained world.
Hello, Smuglace. There we are.
No, are you mad? He's incredibly powerful. He would kill us all. Even if we got the goblins to help us, hobgoblins, and we manipulated the trolls, the dragon would completely wipe us out. Believe me, our entire race would perish. It would.
I know I'm sounding like Trump. I'm doing the Trump hand gestures.
This is the only life our people can ever know. Before the dragon, we were happy and joyful as a species as the elves, but now we're just a slave. Now we just slave away, rotting in his mountain, underfed, overabused, dying. Okay, you might have a point.
there such thing as over abused? I think any amount
That's
of
a good
abuse
point.
is like, not great.
Yeah.
You're abusing me too much.
You know, you're abusing me an acceptable amount. I accept this. This is a
good amount of abuse.
Yeah, that's what the wizard argues.
True.
Proper amount of abuse.
Yeah, it's not just trust exercises anymore.
No, yeah.
He does music sketches and he does voices like that. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
cool.
Well, I know who he is. I just didn't know he did voices of New Yorker people.
I didn't know he had a New York voice either.
Oh boy, looks like she gets a paragraph to convince him to.
Oh boy, time for more expositing because, first drafts. Woo.
Woo. But don't you see? Every species that's under the dragon's rule is suffering from the same situation. We humans are starving to death, slowly dying out. The trolls are pawns, completely enslaved, and you hobgoblins and goblins are working for every whim of an evil tyrant who repays your work only with miserable, torturous lives. Wouldn't it be good to suddenly rise up and fight back against him? Even if your entire race was wiped out, wouldn't it be worth it if you could succeed in freeing the entire world from evil, so that every other race would be free and you would forever be remembered as heroes? Because right now, every race is in trouble, and death is already coming for us all. Wouldn't it be better if every race in the land joined together to form one unstoppable force before it's too late and we all die? There can be no victory without sacrifice. What does that remind me of? The Hunger Games. But I think that we can succeed without... What? But I think we could succeed without any race's destruction. I really can't read. If we could just work together as a team, Ia explained excitedly. The druid seemed taken aback at these words.
Oh, sorry, you lost me there. I stared off into space and I got confused for a bit. So what you're saying is we should feed you a bunch of cyanide apples, and then when you get eaten by the dragon, he'll get poisoned to die, right? How has no one thought of that before? That's a good idea. What you looking at?
Trying to look up what
No victory without loss.
without sacrifice.
It feels like a movie ad. I think it's like, is it from the ad that we had on the VHS tapes of Star Wars that were like, you can buy the trilogy on VHS one last time. There can be no victory without sacrifice. No greatness without suffering. I don't know, something like that. That's what it feels like.
It doesn't look like it's from anything specific. Like, I thought it was from generic. Like, it felt like it was from that Hunger Games like film that they play at the Reaping, where it says like there can be no something without something.
Sure, I have no idea.
Is it a thing? Oh, there is no progress without compromise, no victory without sacrifice. That's the one from the Hunger Games.
I see.
Anyway, that's irrelevant.
I was looking up padlocks. Now I have changed my Google home screen to
Caitlin Kierman.
I don't know who that is.
That's the cop lady from Arcane. I took a quiz. Sorry, continue.
Do something about Google Slides presentations. Okay. Cool. I love looking at old stuff.
I took a quiz to see what Arcane character I was, and it gave me Caitlin, which I assumed it would. It's Thor.
She plays Thor.
She plays Thor.
I didn't know Shroomy was still here.
Hi.
It said we had 2 viewers for a bit, and I was confused.
I
thought because Darkness and Jaina were chatting, so I was like, I guess Shroomy must have left, but now he's still here somehow. Gasp. We know you left, Shroomy. I'm kidding. Oh, my cat's... What?
Is that just an expression? Oh, my cat.
Oh, my cat, y'all had the early 90s Star Wars VHS.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, my cat. I see. It's a full phrase. Yes, we had.
We might still have them. Either
we do.
That or
I think. I'm pretty sure.
Turn them into DVDs, but
I
either
hope
way,
we didn't.
We have the original.
I mean, to be fair, we don't really use our VHS player anymore, so I don't know what would be the use of having it still. But yeah.
But either way, we have the version that's not edited and weird with the added CGI.
Yes, we have the one before George Lucas decided. You know what? Let me come back and edit in some like banthas going across the middle of the screen for some reason.
Very weird.
It looked very strange, and also Jabba the Hutt looked very strange and was unnecessary. And also, I'm just kind of confused. Also, Jabba looked so fat in the third movie. I'm pretty sure he could not be walking around like he did in that first.
So fat.
He was so fat. So fat.
Hey, what character?
Also, it doesn't go with the lore established in Boba Fett where he like gets carried around with a litter. Anyway.
What character do you think you would get if you took an Arcane quiz? I'm gonna keep doing this until you answer.
Jace?
That's who I would assume as well. I assumed I would get Caitlin, and I was right. I'm assuming you'll get Jace, and I'm assuming I'm right. So.
Cool. Fair enough. Why? You said you would do that until I answered, but I have answered.
You're right. Stop now.
You have stamped my knee many times. The seal of approval. I do too, and Han shoots first.
Yeah, he does.
My VCR hasn't worked in like 5 years. Oh no,
that
rip.
is sad.
It happens.
It do be like that. Anyway.
Yeah, okay. Ouch!
So she just gave her whole speech of why you should totally join her.
Oh yes, so we're at the butt.
Mm-hmm.
Butt.
But, do you think every race would be willing to risk everything in order to help us?
Yes, and certainly.
I have already talked to many humans who share my views.
Have you?
They would.
Have you? Have you? I feel like you have never left your tower because everyone hates you so much. I feel like the only person you could have talked to is your dad, who is living in La La Land and has no idea that the world needs a revolution, or your mom, who is a freaking demon apparently, or Ian, who literally, like, you haven't talked to that much, I guess. Maybe. I don't know.
But he gave you his rock.
Say no more.
Say no more. I have already talked to many humans who share my views.
I'd watch a character quiz stream, by the way.
That'd be fun. I like
that kinda
random
would.
quizzes. They would be willing to die fighting for a common good. Before we thought we need what? What? Before.
It's okay. Start over.
I'm getting too excited about my revolution. Before, we thought we would need to fight the dragon, the trolls, and you. But now I can see that this is not the case. Are you willing to help talk to some of your people? If you could get a plan started.
Me? Look, I'm willing to fight. If everyone else is already going to, but I'm not gonna be the one that starts this revolution. I'd be the first one the dragon goes after. No thanks.
But if you don't ask around, nobody will ever know that you share the same views. It's got to start with somebody. So why not you?
If it's gotta start somewhere, we're not here.
If everyone had your attitude of following rather than leading, nothing would ever get done.
That's why we leave the leadership to the dragon. But we all do have that attitude. That's why we follow the dragon unquestioningly.
Well, it's time to change that. You're a racist? Your race needs leaders. You can be a great leader. I see your potential. You can be instrumental in saving the world.
I'm a mailman. I deliver stuff.
You have it in you. You can
My
do
name's
it.
Stanley.
I thought your name was
I have a name.
the Hobgoblin. I don't know.
Well, now it refers to two people.
What?
There's the other guy, the chubby one. He's also the Hobgoblin.
Well, you need to get an identity.
I do.
What's the most New Yorker name you can think of?
Probably,
Peter Parker.
that works. Or Clyde. I've always wanted to be a Clyde. I could be Clyde Parker.
Yeah, reinvent yourself. Go for it. Why am I turning British?
I don't know, you
I
became
am
British, I
Caitlin.
became New Yorker.
I guess I'm just British now. Alright.
I guess I became New Yorker.
Cool. I'm glad that we can team up
You
together.
came from across the pond. Just
Yeah.
went through Ellis Island, right?
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm.
I'm about to go sell some papes and I don't know what
I
I'm
don't
doing
need
with my life.
I don't need no limb to sell papes. I got poison out.
I'm questioning my life choices.
Aren't we all?
Where are we? Who are we? I've lost track of
I
everything.
think we're here.
Oh yeah, okay.
No! I can't be a leader. I can't. I still have a life to live, a family to raise. I can't share my views yet. Maybe in a few years if I'm not too scared.
I feel like it needs to be if I ain't too scared.
If I ain't too
Gotta
scared.
change up the wording to make it New Yorky. Well, that's what everybody says. They just put it off just one more day.
You've become
so many
even more
times.
British.
I'm going with it now. We gotta have the weird accents.
I was practicing my British accent the other day too.
Wait, why? Just because?
I don't know. I just started speaking in a British accent by accident because my default normal voice has taken on some southern drawl, and I don't like how it makes my tongue feel more swollen, and I slur my words more frequently. Whereas when you talk with a British accent, it's very like precise and enunciated, and it feels a lot better to like not slip up over my words, and I can speak more clearly and more quickly, I feel like, and it's just more fun to speak that way. So I was like, it would be great if I could just take the ability to speak more clearly and adapt that into my normal speaking so that I'm less tripping over my tongue every time I try to speak words.
Tripping over your tongue, oh no.
But without like actually becoming fake British, because that would just be the worst. Not because I hate how it sounds, but just because it would just be disingenuous and I wouldn't be able to get over it. Like,
Well,
suddenly becoming British.
The next character you have to voice, make him British.
I can try. I can try.
Where are we? Okay.
I don't know. I
want
kind
to
of
live
am
their
trying
happy
less and
lives
less.
without risk and get around to changing the world when it's too late. And then your children do the same thing and nobody does it. It's got to start somewhere. You can do it. Just ask around at first. Start small. Ask a few innocent questions. You don't need to immediately put together an army. But time is running out. So whatever you're going to do, you need to do it fast.
Yeah, ordered. She's ordering now.
How? You have some good points, but okay, maybe we'll see. I need some time to think.
The druid sighed.
Okay. We have another month together before we get there. He just smiled.
Joy.
The hobgoblin commented sarcastically. There was a pause.
So, are you allowed to let me out of this cage so that I can...
No, I can't. I'm sorry.
I lost my place because I was too busy making hand gestures.
Against the rules. The last time I tried to be nice and let someone step behind a tree, they took off running. I had to catch them. Not fun.
You don't trust me?
After all we've been through together.
Ouch.
4 days of walking.
Even after we've been talking for so long
It's
about
one
such
conversation.
important stuff? What if I gave you my word?
Would you trust someone who is about to die and would probably do anything possible to survive?
He scoffed. Ia shook her head sadly, looking away. The druid sighed.
I do feel bad for you, though. I'm sorry. I'm not heartless. It hurts me to do this. My son was chosen as a sacrifice as well. As the sacrifice as well.
He continued. He's now becoming southern. I don't know how that happened. I'm not trying as hard anymore because I can't follow what's happening in the scene.
You mean the dragon even does this with his servants in his own mountain?
Oh, she's yelling.
You mean the dragon even does this with his servants in his own mountain?
Ia yelled.
Yeah, the dragon has a sweet tooth.
Goblins are sweet.
Hobgoblins. They're like candy corn.
Okay. That's like sounds like a commercial.
Anyway.
Hobgoblins. They're like candy corn.
That's a commercial. Wow.
Ew.
Bye, hobgoblins.
Oh no.
Anyway, I know how it feels to lose someone close like this. And I know what it's like to be the person in the cage.
Do you? How are you alive then?
His son, not you, but okay, sure.
Just because our race is enslaved by an evil ruler, it doesn't mean our race is evil. Oh, you won't tell anyone about the things I've been saying, will you? I could be killed for treason. That would just be a bad situation.
Oh no, I'd never tell. You
I
promise.
feel like that was a very disingenuous way to say that.
You probably should have thought this through before you told
I
me all of
have
this.
magic. I can rip off your lips right now.
What?
Don't make me rip off your lips.
I kind of need my lips in order to eat food, and if I don't eat food, the
Sweetheart,
dragon
I do not care. I will rip off your lips in an instant.
the dragon will kill you. If I can't eat and I can't keep up
I
my
can
strength.
give you back your lips if you need to eat, but I will not let you speak. I got the magic,
I can
lady.
speak without my lips. It would just sound a little weird.
No, honey. I mean, literally, your face will be just a flat, fleshy, faceless void. I do not know how you will breathe.
Why don't you just rip off the dragon's lips? Start our revolution that way.
If he doesn't have lips, he can't blow fire and he can't eat us.
Precisely.
My life is a lie, and no one in my race has thought of this before.
Well, now you're thinking of it now. It's not too late. Just
My mind is expanded.
just go rip
The
off
possibilities are endless.
Just rip off his lips, and then we could be done with this whole thing.
We could chop off his toes and enchant his lips.
Exactly.
And maybe chain down his tail and then also kill his other various ways he could kill us.
Yeah.
I don't know what other ways he has to kill us. I've never gotten close enough to the dragon to see.
Are you sure he even exists? Because, you know, my father just goes around expositing things, and he told me that he enchanted this rock that's, like, in the dragon's lair somewhere, so we might actually be dead.
Oh man, we need to stop going on these side rants.
Yeah,
We're
I don't
never
know
gonna
how
get
that
through this
happened.
story. This is hilarious.
Darkness
Don't make
says-
me rip off your lips. I now have a terrifying image of McKay being like Voldemort, but with no lips. That's amazing.
Darkness says, I took 2 quizzes, I got Jason a BuzzFeed one, then Caitlin another one. I think I only took 1, and I just got Caitlin. But, yeah. I don't know who else I would be, really, because... I don't know who else I would be.
Okay, so you said, oh no, I'd never tell, but you sounded really suspicious about it. She probably didn't actually sound that suspicious.
Yeah.
Thank you. You remind me of my son a little bit. But I don't like to talk about him.
Oh, I understand. Ian nodded.
So, what is your name?
Alexander Hamilton.
I didn't say man.
Oh,
You're
sorry.
a woman.
Sorry, yeah. What's yours?
A sleeping troll. No, that's not my name. Sorry, wrong place on the page. Tillum. My name's Drake. Chad. What was my name?
Clyde.
Clyde Parker. My name is Clyde Parker.
The druid answered with a smile. Suddenly, a snap came from somewhere in the woods around them, sounding like Thanos. Sorry.
Oh.
A snap came from somewhere in the woods around them, sounding like a twig being broken beneath a foot. Ia froze in fear, looking around.
Relax, it's probably just a deer or something.
Tillum soothed.
Clyde.
Soothed. So less the way I did it. Clyde Parker soothed, straining his eyes to see into the bushes.
Or some horrible beast that wants to attack us. There aren't many deer in these woods anymore.
Attack a troll?
A sleeping troll, he responded.
True.
Clyde Parker replied. It's so hard for me to remember that. Standing up and brandishing his staff, scanning the woods. Then Ia saw it. She noticed the glint of a polished weapon in the bushes behind where Clyde Parker's faced, and she opened her mouth to warn him when a goblin popped up from behind the bushes silently, waving his hands to attract Ia's attention and gesturing for her to stop talking and be silent. He put his fingers to his lips.
That's what that means.
This goblin is like, "Woo, be quiet." Waving his hands to attract Ia's attention and gesturing for her to stop talking and be silent. He put his finger to his lips, then motioned that he was going to set her free. Your bonds are cut. Ia was confused by this, and she knew that the dragon would destroy Edgetown if Ia was set free. So she tapped Clyde Parker and pointed.
I love the pause between Clyde and Parker every time.
I have to think about it. I have to recalibrate
Clyde.
my brain.
Parker.
And pointed to the bushes where the goblin stood. The goblin was so taken aback by Ia's refusal to let him rescue her, he merely stood there, forgetting to duck down and avoid the detection of Clyde Parker.
Hey! Who are you? What are you doing sneaking up on us like that?
Till Clyde Parker called to the goblin. The goblin looked down into the bushes beside him, undoubtedly seeking guidance from his concealed companions. Clyde Parker noted this and waved his staff, thereby generating a blue transparent shield that encircled him, Ia, and the troll. Ia then heard the quiet, muffled, though unmistakable sound of a sword being sheathed.
Oh, there's another goblin. Should he be a British one?
Well, so much for the element of surprise.
Another goblin commented, standing up and walking. I'm not going to be able to talk to myself like this.
Oh dear.
Another goblin commented, standing up and walking over to the magic barrier. He held a menacing-looking sword.
I am the leader of our goblin band. My name is
They're in a
unimportant.
band?
Yes. My name is unimportant and irrelevant. You have to refer to me by both of those words every time you want to speak to me.
Clyde Parker, unimportant and irrelevant.
Yes, his name is unimportant and irrelevant.
We noticed the rainstorm appear and disappear without a trace, so we came to see whether an evil enchanter had come here. What brings you to our woods?
Our troll got tired and needed a rest. I hope you don't mind if we remain here until he wakes up. Do you?
Clyde Parker asked, editing this story so much in my brain.
It's like how we replaced what's his name with Moldy Fart.
Oh no, stay as long as you like. In fact,
This is more Australian, actually. We're
This
just
is
becoming a
weird.
little Australian.
in fact, as long as he is asleep, why don't you come back to our camp and enjoy a meal with us?
The leader asked, sheathing his sword with the clang. He had a sly smile on his face, which made Ia instantly distrust him. If only I had heard those stage directions before I actually did the reading of the line, but too late now.
Thanks, but I'm not. I'm apparently not allowed out of this. Wait,
Oh wait, is that
that's
me?
her. Sorry, I took your line. Go ahead. Take 2.
Thanks, but apparently I'm not allowed out of this cage until we get to the Dragon's Mountain. If you guys try to let me go, or harm me yourselves, or stop me from reaching the dragon for his dinner, my entire village will likely suffer. So I'm afraid we have to refuse, Ia replied. The leader was astonished at this response, judging by his expression.
Brosif, you realize you will die.
It's Australian man, I think.
Australian man, okay.
I don't care about your village. I don't care about your village. I don't care about the dragon. We live peacefully in these woods, cut off from everyone else. That's how we like it. Isolated, private. We have happy lives here with much singing and dancing. Surely you'll join us rather than die as pawns of the dragon, the leader said. I'm trying to help you.
You may not care about my village, but I do, and I'm willing to die for their cause. she
Okay, Peggy
retorted.
Carter.
With a glance at Clyde Parker.
I love this and I hate this so much.
I'm glad you found a way to survive outside of the influence of the dragon.
It's okay, take a breath.
But I'm afraid we can't join you.
Even just for a small time. Another day or two, perhaps, while your troll sleeps.
The other goblin in the... Oh wait, this is another goblin.
Oh,
This
okay.
one's gotta be British.
Okay.
How am I gonna make a distinction between a New Yorker, a British, and an Australian
Makes him
goblin?
like a really posh British, like kind of what I'm doing for her.
Very posh, okay. Wow.
Even for just a small time. Another day or two, while your troll sleeps.
The other goblin in the bushes asked while walking forward.
This is Clyde Parker.
Frickin'...
There's so many.
I'm gonna cry.
Well, actually, I would like to join you, and I thank you for your hospitalities, but I'm afraid I'm under strict orders to not leave this troll or the prisoner for any period of time.
Clyde Parker insisted.
Oh, come now. Nobody will ever know. You'll just be sitting here otherwise. Are you sure?
The leader soothed.
Also, hello, Kenzie.
Hi, welcome. I'm crying because I'm playing an Australian goblin, a British goblin, and a New Yorker goblin all at the same time, and they're all talking to each other, and I can't keep them straight in my
Oh
head,
my
and one of
gosh.
them's not named Tillum, he's named freaking Clyde Parker!
He always wanted to be Clyde, though. You gotta give him that.
He always wanted to be a Clyde. He's re-identified.
We're sure, Ia replied. The leader then took his companion aside to have a quick conversation with. Meanwhile, Ia looked closely at the bushes on the other side of the troll from where the leader stood. Just as she had suspected, she noticed another goblin behind them, and she was sure there were more surrounding them. These were no peaceful members of a safe haven. They were a dirty band of vicious robbers. Ia reached out and tugged on Clyde Parker's robe. He looked down at her just as the leader finished his conversation.
That's my clothing, thank you very much. Hey!
Clyde Parker, I'm trying to tell you something.
I'm waiting till marriage. I already have a son.
Well, that's why he died. It must have been like divine punishment or something.
Oh boy, wow.
Sorry about that.
So many things are wrong with what just happened. Okay.
My associate and I have decided to give you a little parting gift, the leader announced, holding up a small package that was too close to
Clyde Parker, I'm sorry.
Thank you! What is it?
Tillum replied, still
Clyde
maintaining...
Parker. Clyde Parker.
Clyde Parker replied, still maintaining the magical field of energy that protected them from the goblins. I assume it's the leader again.
Oh, some food for you. We know you have a far way yet to travel. A token of goodwill. Shall we come in and give it to you, or do you want to come out for a few seconds?
Clyde Parker replied uncertainly, looking to Ia for advice. She shook her head as inconspicuously as she could.
Could you just leave it on the ground out there and we'll pick it up later?
You insult us with your continuing distrust. Very well, we'll put it here and you can pick it up whenever you see fit. Topper?
Topa.
Topper!
Because he's the top hat British man.
Come, so they can see we are all leaving. All
Wink,
leaving. Wink wonk. I'm a skunk. Bonk. Good luck, travelers,
the leader said.
Cheerio.
Topper, was apparently the goblin that Ia had caught sight of and had been hiding behind them. Oh, never mind. That's a different guy then. Not the British one. I'm not going to be able to keep these people straight. Ia thought she heard another sword sheaf as he stood uncertainly and sheepishly walked around the magical barrier to join the leader, who left with him and the other goblin that had been with him. There was a long silence as the three of them loudly tromped away until they were out of earshot. Definitely leaving, definitely not being tricksy hobbitses.
Seb says, I just came back, and what is this voice?
I don't know!
You haven't even heard Clyde Parker yet.
Oh man, Clyde Parker is my
we
favorite.
love Clyde Parker.
Maybe he did hear Clyde Parker.
Jaina says, submitting a request for a Bostonian goblin. I don't know if I
True
remember.
I showed you where the skunk is located. I punked him.
Pong?
I punked him with a P. I rotated the P invertedly.
Your different accents do a good job of characterizing the
Thank you.
It's making me want to go back to not being here. No!
No,
Stay for Clyde Parker!
Clyde Parker is fun.
I don't trust them, Ia said aloud as Clyde Parker looked back to her. If they got here so silently, why would they leave so noisily? How do we know they won't sneak back and try to kill us when you release the enchantment to get the food? Maybe that food is even poisoned. If they want us dead so that they can rob us, I don't think they care how they kill us. And your magic will stop working when you're dead.
Entirely too much.
So they can just come search us for gold after we die of the poison.
Maybe they were trying to sneak up on what they thought was an evil sorcerer before, but now they have no reason to be quiet. But I don't know. Goblins just act strangely sometimes. He seemed trustworthy to me, though. He appeared friendly enough, at least. Perhaps his camp has just evolved different customs than ours,
Clyde Parker responded.
Are you just trying to convince yourself that he's telling the truth because you want the food? Ia asked condescendingly. Clyde Parker sighed.
I'm very hungry. I think everyone in the entire land is. Except the dragon and a few of his closest advisors, that is. You know what I would give for a beautifully done Philly cheesesteak?
Pizza
I
time.
would... Oh! Nom, nom, nom!
I know, but don't be a fool. If you give in to temptation, it could be precisely what those thieves want, and it could mean our necks,
Ia replied. Clyde Parker sighed again.
You are having some strange effects on
I
me.
thought you said you were waiting until marriage.
No! Clyde Parker replied.
Before I would have unquestioningly taken the gift, but you apparently think a lot,
I do
and
think quite
it's
often.
rubbing off on me. My 1 or 2 brain cells are really working hard right now. Even after only a few days.
That was weird.
Dice!
You smiled. You left.
Shirley says, I missed the part where that's my problem.
Yeah, I got the thinking disease from my... Ia stopped, unsure of what to call Ian.
From Super EJ, the one who teaches that you must think
Yes, I know
in
how to think
combat.
about battle strategies
Oh,
in my mind.
God.
You wouldn't stand a chance if I was out of this cage. Oh, I would destroy you.
Oh my lord.
She turned away, suddenly ashamed and overcome with emotion.
Yes! She got the reference. to the VeggieTales Temptation song, which I only heard once. Remember that the Bad Apple?
Maybe.
We watched that episode once of Larry Boy, I believe.
I might remember it. I don't. It's not coming to mind though.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I don't want to talk anymore.
Ia finished, her voice catching. Clyde Parker wordlessly walked away, still holding his staff and continuing to hold the magic shield there. Ia buried her face in
This
her
is
arms,
incredibly boring!
which rested on her knees as Clyde Parker walked over to where the small package of food was, then looked around.
I don't see anyone else in the area!
Till Clyde Parker announced, checking once more.
Clyde Parker, no!
Always his full name. But there is no such thing as Clyde. Only Clyde Parker.
Clyde Parker! Ia cried too late, raising her head. But Clyde Parker had already left the magic barrier.
Clyde Parker, why?
And had run to the package, picking it up, and was starting to run back. And behind him ran two yelling goblins with swords that had emerged from the bushes. Also, from around all sides of the troll,
They've just got the billy
leapt out
clubs.
to fighting, brandishing weapons and yelling.
Oh boy.
Don't just sit there! Wake the troll!
Clyde Parker screamed at Ia as he waved his staff and caused the two goblins behind him to burst into flames.
Ah! Oh my, this is quite a spot of bother!
They yelled and cried out in agony, dropping to the ground and trying to put out the flames.
You mean this won't? Then how am I supposed to? Ia replied, slapping the troll's back as hard as she could.
Pats.
Meanwhile, the goblins' cutthroats were charging from every side. Luckily, all the screaming did wake the troll up, and he raised his head in confusion. Upon noting the furious goblins, he clumsily lumbered to his feet as quickly as an enormous troll could.
What's going on?
Ia was tossed to the bottom of her cage violently as the troll roared angrily, beginning to swing his great, slow, powerful arms in an ineffective attempt to smash the speedy goblin.
I killed one!
Clyde Parker waved his staff and leapt off the ground, magically flying high into the air before landing atop Ia's cage.
No, that's an Avengers level.
The troll kicked and stomped wildly, roaring in frustration as the goblins sped away between his legs, giving him small cuts with their swords. Finally, the troll managed to step on one goblin and crush him.
I
then
say,
kick
this is
another
not
into a
acceptable.
tree, resulting in a bone-splitting snap. Oh no, was that, the British man? A large knife sailed through the air and buried itself in the back of the troll's leg at the knee.
Ow.
He took a dagger to the knee, resulting in the troll roaring in pain. A goblin leaped and grabbed a hold of Ia's cage, then beginning to climb up it.
You idiot!
Clyde Parker yelled at the troll.
Run! Get back to the road!
He ordered. The troll twirled around, searching for the point from which they had arrived in the clearing. The goblins continued to throw knives at various places on the troll, trying to bring him down.
He angry. This is a British man.
I think it's Australian.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Hit the hobgoblin, boys! Then this brainless troll will have no hope and we can hold the girl for ransom. Or eat her, depending on what happens.
The leader yelled at us. Here, got an idea. That was not Australian at all. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I've lost my brain power.
Wait! Stop!
Ia cried loudly and commandingly.
Just stop for a moment, and then you can go back to fighting.
Ia ordered
That
authoritatively.
It's going to work, and I hate it, but it should really not work.
She's learning from Ian with his just facts and
No,
logic.
super EJ.
Strangely, the goblins heard this and were willing to listen to what she had to say.
Were they?
Of course. They froze where they were and stopped yelling. Even the troll stopped looking, because she just has the power to communicate with brainless creatures, okay? Looking around in confusion. Ia could tell that the leader was about to order them to continue their attack, so she took a deep breath and quickly began speaking.
Do you guys want to have an opportunity to not do this anymore? To be free of this life hiding in fear of the dragon and robbing from him, though you know it could mean your necks?
Ia asked. After a moment, one of the goblins replied.
I'm a troll.
This is just one of the goblins. I don't know which one it is.
I'm gonna come up with a new voice.
Oh boy.
This is gonna be the bass
Okay.
of the string quartet, or barbershop quartet.
Okay.
Where is he?
We like fighting.
No, we like fighting. We love killing, the goblin cried. Before he could tell the others to charge, however. Oh, it should have been the leader then, I guess.
Oh.
However, Ia continued.
Great! Then maybe you can help us. Even though this hobgoblin works for the dragon, he really dislikes him. It turns out that most people in the kingdom hate the dragon, but
I wonder why. It's a freaking dragon.
But none are brave enough to actually begin a revolution. None have the courage to stand up for what is right and fight the dragon, doing something more productive than sitting around waiting for the dragon to kill them. No one has the bravery to resist the dragon, except you. You are willing to attack the dragon and resist his rule, even at the risk of your lives. You can help lead the peoples of this world and finally do something against the dragon. You are exactly what this world needs. You can save the entire land, because right now, no one is rich and everyone is dying. Not good for you robbers. But if you would help us fight, you would help richen the entire land, and you would be able to steal more. And you would be revered as heroes. You see... Who is this? Oh, it's the leader.
I'm gonna go back to the base guy though, because I feel like it's funny.
Okay.
Are you nuts? We don't care about the dragon, and we haven't tried to mess with him in years. We look out for ourselves, and
Look out
that's
for
it.
yourself.
We are not gonna join your suicide quest.
Oh, it's the leader again. This time it was specifically mentioned as the leader. My bad. The leader was cut off by another voice.
Who is it?
Just
Another goblin.
Well, I could do the base guy again and pretend that I did the Australian guy.
Sure.
No, I'm just gonna try to do the Australian voices completely flip-flopped everyone for some reason. Well, if we succeeded, we wouldn't even need to steal. We'd own the dragon's entire mountain of wealth. We could retire, another goblin piped up. The leader gave him a glare, then looked back to Ia. Oh no. No! Put an arrow in her and proceed with the attack, the leader ordered, resulting in the world springing back into motion with a menacing battle cry. Clyde Parker summoned rain clouds to shield the troll from the sun as the troll roared and began crashing through the forest. One of the goblins had climbed to the side of Ia's cage, and he swung his sword as hard as he could, cutting through one of the bars of the cage. Ia screamed as the goblin swung again, his sword going into the cage and barely missing Ia. Clyde Parker was trying to defend himself from some of the other goblins, so he couldn't help. Ia's vision suddenly got blurry as incredible pain exploded throughout her head. Then everything went black.
No, I don't want to go back to the wizard. I liked Clyde Parker.
I know, this is way more entertaining than freaking Ian with the exposition boy. There's nothing interesting happening with Ian.
Yeah.
He's just jumping off cliffs for no reason.
That's true.
The wizard's just like, hey, there's a snake in your shirt.
Oh, you don't trust me. I wonder why.
Definitely not like I have given you no reason to trust me.
I felt a little bit like Caitlin with my inspirational speeches and my British accent.
You are right.
Jada says, "Get off the road."
Who's the Mary Sue Moore, Ian or Ia? Honestly,
They both have their inspirational speech powers that should not work.
supposedly Ia got it from Ian, so the source of the power comes from Super ETA once
That's
again.
true, yeah.
But luckily, Super EA is being sidelined in his own book at this point.
That's
so
true, yeah.
He's literally the
Ia has
least
the
interesting
more-
character out of all of these people so far.
Yeah.
Well, no, the wizard.
Clyde
people.
Parker's my favorite.
Yeah, I like Clyde Parker. I was nailing that voice for a bit, and then I kind of lost track of it when we went off script. That was so much fun.
I'm Clyde Parker.
Hi, everybody, it's Clyde Parker here.
And I'm his faithful sidekick, Ia.
I
I give him
You're
the
my
inspiration.
prisoner. But, we talk back and forth. We got nothing else to do for the next month.
We're almost friends, right? I mean,
Almost friends? Is that really a classification that you can apply
we
here?
spent like 4 days on the back of this smelly troll together.
What is almost friends? It's not even like a thing. You can't have just like an
Alright,
almost
well,
friend.
Do you want to be friends? Have you ever had a friend before?
Shut up.
No, it's a genuine question. I'm just wondering. I didn't have a lot of friends because everyone called me a witch child.
You too? No one.
You were a witch child too.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing the magic stuff with the staff, and people made fun of me because not everyone can do that kind of thing. When
Well,
the
I
other
think it's
kids,
nice.
the other hobgoblin children, they made fun of me because I could do cool shiny things and they couldn't. And they were jealous, I think.
Well, I'm glad that you can do cool things because without your magical rain clouds, I would still be very thirsty and I might die. So, I am grateful that you can do magic. I can't do magic. My father's a great wizard, but I apparently really suck at magic.
Oh. I could try to teach you a few things. Well, your dad probably already tried that, yeah.
Like, he just threw knives at my face.
Oh no! You've got to trust me, daughter. Eat!
I'm sorry.
Is this just what wizards do? They just chuck knives at their children repeatedly?
Apparently.
Was his dad trying to teach him? Is that why he chucked a knife at his
Like,
son's
you
head?
don't trust me. Oh my gosh.
But it was a real knife, though. He forgot to do a fake one.
Whoops, that was my non-imaginary dagger.
Please tell me that Narvel's still alive. I sold my soul to him. This is so pure. Oh my gosh. This is amazing.
Beautiful.
Okay,
Anyway.
where are we?
Now back to the friggin'
Oh,
wizard.
the wizard. Oh,
Give
man.
me more Clyde Parker.
Oh, good! The wizard praised grimly.
Grimly.
Good. The wizard praised grimly as Ian struggled to maintain his concentration. A bead of sweat rolled down Super EJ's quivering face. Why is his face quivering?
I don't know.
And he held his breath, straining. Once the wizard had finally explained to Ian about the secrets and difficulties involved with casting spells, and finally told him how to use magic. Okay, we're gonna gloss over that and not give any explanation about that part.
Yeah, that
we're gonna give
doesn't
way
matter.
too much explanation about everything else, but ignoring
How
that.
to use magic.
I probably hadn't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
There's a rough draft still. The wizard had been extraordinarily impressed. By what? He still hasn't done anything. Ian had failed to actually accomplish anything on the first day, which is normal. How long has this been going? What time skips are happening here? Yet the wizard could feel that Ian was extremely close. I don't know how he could feel that, but sure. Closer than most new students of magic got in the first 3 weeks of their training.
Mary Sue.
Wow, Gary Stew.
Love that.
On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me, Ian had actually managed to accomplish the task of moving a blade of grass across a wooden table.
Just gloss
With
over
magic.
that too.
Sure, yep, just missed that scene entirely. All the growth and, yeeting of blades of grass at his face. And now Ian was concentrating very hard on the feather that he was attempting to levitate. Wingardium Leviosa! Not Leviosa! One half of it had lifted off the table, but the other half still rested on the table, so it was standing up vertically.
It doesn't feel good, Ian replied through clenched teeth. This is downright painful.
Well, it's like exercise, where you're tearing down muscles to rebuild stronger ones. Only here, it is your brain. You are breaking your brain to rebuild your brain. Except your brain neurons don't really grow back. So, I'm slowly making you dumber, but at least you can do cool things. It's a trade-off. That's why I'm so crazy.
Thank you for telling me.
Yes.
Okay, only here you're improving your ability to use magic, the wizard responded with a laugh. Ha ha! You are doing very well! Are you sure your father never taught you how to use magic before?
Also, Jana says, this improv is why we love y'all. You are just so
thank
naturally entertaining and nostalgic just by being yourself. Aw, thanks.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yay, thank you.
It's fun to improv and eat paper.
We vibe.
Oh boy.
Have you seen McKay's channel? We did some more of this as Sylvie and Mobius.
You
And
ate a piece of paper
I ate
and it
paper.
literally broke me. To my very core of my being, I shattered and then I just couldn't stop laughing.
You
for a very long
evaporated.
time. It was bad. It was very funny.
The brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb.
It's kind of comforting.
It was though. Have you ever tried eating paper?
No,
You should try it.
I haven't. Shirley says moo.
Mobius.
Mobius.
Mobius, put it.
Mobius.
Oh dear.
Anyway,
Oh.
I'm certain of it, Ian responded, squinting and clenching his fists. The white feather suddenly lifted completely off the table and hovered in midair for a moment.
Oh, well done!
The wizard cried as the feather fell back down, and Ian sat back in his chair, shaking his dizzy head, eyes closed. That was a lot of commas. Ian sighed, a satisfied smile on his face.
That was difficult, Ian commented, opening his eyes.
Remember, your power does not come from yourself and your own strength and
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Can we just not?
Uh-oh. No, I want to
Please.
hear it. Gotta tell me.
I'm evaporating. Sorry.
You just have to work in unison with the spirit of him who helps you, and his strength will help you do great things. Anyway, you performed admirably. Would you like to stop for the day?
Yes, we would. Can we please go do
Go back
something
to
interesting
Clyde
with your
Parker.
characters? The wizard inquired. Ian nodded, exhausted. They sat inside Ian's father's magic chest room, where they had been working and training all day. The wizard stood and walked over to the door, opening it to find that it was nighttime in the wizard's room. I mean, it's nighttime everywhere else too, I assume.
Only in the wizard's room.
Well, I suppose there's only one more thing to do tonight.
The wizard concluded, leaving the door open.
Take off your shirt.
Oh no! Stop! We've had too many of these things happen today.
This poor boy.
Leaving the door
losing out.
open as he returned to his seat across the table from Ian. Ian leaned his head back, resting it on his chair.
What? Ian asked tiredly as the wizard
Oh my
magically
freaking
summoned another
gosh.
knife, which he hid under the table for a second.
Oh my
The
gosh.
wizard then responded by hurling the blade at Ian's face
I
from
hate
less than a
this.
few feet away.
I hate this.
Ian didn't move as the knight sped through the air towards him, so the wizard was forced to use magic to stop the blade just before it hit
I
Ian.
thought it wasn't real.
I
Is
don't
it
know.
real?
The knife hovered in midair, point facing Ian's forehead.
Very good, I guess. The wizard judged as the knife disappeared. I'm pretty sure Ian has just fallen asleep in his own
Yeah.
brain. He's just watching. He can't move if he wants to. He's
Hi,
dead
Strong
inside.
Prong.
Strong Frog, welcome. Hello.
You missed the amazing scene with Clyde Parker, the very New York nasally goblin, and Ia, who has turned into Caitlin, aka a British revolutionist, and then there was also an Australian goblin leader, and then a British goblin boy, and also just a goblin boy with a really deep voice. They were really fun, but now we're back to the frickin' wizard that keeps throwing knives at people and telling children to take their shirts off and putting snakes in their clothing and telling them to jump off cliffs.
This wizard is a wild man.
He's not.
He's a wild child.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't even know what to summarize has happened in the actual story because
Clyde Parker is the main character now of this entire narrative.
I wish you were the main character.
Honestly, I
so
am.
much more. My boyfriend hasn't even come to rescue me. He kind of sucks.
Look, I have the greatest origin story ever. I started as a bad guy, taking people from their homes and murdering them and killing them with the dragon. But now I'm turning my life around and I'm gonna be the one that turns the tide of the whole battle, and I come around to the third act and everyone gets saved by me.
And who was the one who gave you the inspirational speech to make you turn the page of your life?
Well, I mean, you just copy-pasted from Super EJ, so I'm gonna go with Super EJ.
Hey, that is not even fair. I learned the ability to give
To make battle strategies in your head.
heart-changing speeches from Super EJ, but that does not mean that it's his words coming from my mouth. I am definitely my own character who is not lifted from anything else or any real-life person at all. I am completely original, and so I resent that fact of you saying that I am...
I am completely original.
I am very original.
Definitely was not based off a real person who
Never,
showed
of
up in
course
my
not.
dream strangely last night. And that was
Of course
creepy
not.
and weird. Why last night of all? Was I thinking about this story?
I don't
Not even
know.
related. I have no idea. It's weird.
I have concerns about this wizard.
Yeah, everyone does. We all are very concerned about this wizard.
We stand Clyde Parker. Yes, we do. We stand Clyde Parker.
Honestly, I'm enjoying Clyde a lot.
We do. Where were we?
I'm not sure.
I
Oh yeah,
think-
very good. Knife
Okay.
disappeared.
Actually, that had nothing to do with trust. I'm just too tired to move my head out of the way, Ian replied, evoking a laugh from the wizard.
All right, then I'll drop a piano on you. Well, then we'll have to try that again sometime when you're more alert, shall we?
No thanks, Ian replied with a smirk. I already have enough enemies. I don't want you to be throwing knives at me, too. It will just make me distrust you.
Ah, yes. Well, we do seem to have an impossible, undefeatable adversary. How can we defeat this foe?
What?
Words and reason, perhaps. Not to the dragon, of course, but his minions.
I'm confused. What's happening?
There's...
I already have enough enemies. I don't need you to be throwing knives at me. It'll just make me distrust you. Oh yes, we do seem to have an impossible, undefeatable adversary. I guess that's referring to the dragon.
Mhm.
How can we defeat the foe? Okay. I thought he
With
was talking about
facts and
trust at
logic.
first. I was like,
Ah.
that is strange. Words and reason can defeat the dragon? Alright. But
Oh,
his
yeah.
minions. Got it. Okay. I'm caught up now. That was a little confusing to me.
It's already working with Clyde Parker.
I guess so. Yeah, it's like it's happening in multiple places at once at the same time, which is both unrealistic but also
At the
interesting.
same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I doubt the goblins or demons would listen to reason.
Well, we'll see. We'll
Even
need
the
as
demons
many.
believe and shudder.
Ooh, we'll need as many helpers as we can get if we're going to fight the good fight. Ian replied.
But hear me out. What if we fight the bad fight?
Well, I don't know why you want to do that. I mean, I think we're already fighting the bad fight when you keep throwing knives at me, but.
That is called the mental abuse fight.
That's not bad.
Mhm.
That's within the realm of acceptable abuse.
I mean, I worked for Hydra.
Oh.
Sorry you had to find out this way.
Anyway, we'll see. Blah blah blah. Fight the good fight.
Helpers,
The wizard repeated, pondering.
so you say that the reason you went after Io was because you wanted a helper? A follower?
The wizard asked.
Yes, Ian asked.
Not because you
cautiously.
like her, because you want someone to
A
help you with the
helper.
revolution?
Definitely.
Confused. But okay.
You're sure you don't like her at all?
The wizard probed. Ian froze, staring at the wizard with a mixture of feelings.
I never said that.
Oh, exposed,
Ian
exposed!
replied.
Ian's in love! Ian's
Oh,
in
Ian's
love!
love!
He took a deep breath, looking at the ground. Oh no! I love her more than anyone else in the world. More than I've ever loved anyone.
More than life.
But that wasn't the
More than
real
jewels, I
reason
wish.
after her. I don't know
You
how.
think? Wow. I thought I burned the last brain cells of yours.
Imagine that's so awkward to just say to someone's dad when, like,
Oh yeah, I love your daughter.
I love her more than life itself.
Wow. Well, I mean, he doesn't like life that much, so.
That's true. I mean, that's
I
not
like her
saying much.
slightly more than existence. Oh
He
boy.
hasn't even told her yet, but he's telling her weird, creepy dad. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Good night, Kenzie.
Oh, see ya. Have a good night. Thanks for coming by. What did I miss? Where am I?
You're at, yeah, right.
Oh, yeah. I feel a burp coming on, but it's not coming. Sorry. That was from the one M&M that I ate while I was a troll. Frankly, I don't know how I only got one M&M.
Oh,
'Cause-
that was really comfy.
What?
I'm sitting like this now.
I mean, I can't argue with the results.
You're right!
The wizard scoffed, smiling knowingly.
You both have liked each other for a very long time. I was actually rooting for you two to finally admit it or something back when you had to say goodbye.
I just think the word choice is funny because this
Oh,
old
yeah, but-
wizard is saying, "You've liked each other for." It's so like high school sounding. Who says that?
You like my daughter.
You
I
like
am
each other.
definitely supportive of this and not wanting to stab you in the face.
Wait, this is why he keeps chucking knives at his face.
Uh-oh.
Just mental abuse.
Don't bring that up. I'm not very happy with the way that went, Ian admitted. I should have told her right then, but I didn't know myself. I'd been lying to myself. I am a normal human being after all. What does that mean?
He thought he was a superhuman and he's not. It annoys me that I can't delete this extra space.
Haha, you
Backspace.
can't.
Sad.
Well, you'll just have to tell her how you really feel when we save her from that dragon.
The wizard grinned. Ian looked up.
So, you're really gonna help out with that?
No, I was making it up just to make you happy. Of course I'm going to help you save my daughter.
How am I supposed to believe anything you say?
Fair.
Of course, we'll all be dead anyway if we don't. We either die of starvation and oppression, or we die by incineration and by the sword. I'd rather take the option with at least a chance of survival.
Ah yes, cause of death? Oppression.
Sat on by the dragon. Oh no. How did you know him? Through the dragon.
Me too.
Literally, the other side of the dragon. We both got squashed.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Got it. Good plan. Ian agreed, waiting.
Not a great plan.
So, when are we going to go to the elves to learn super powerful spells that might actually let us win this war?
Never!
Sorry.
We'll go after I teach you what I can. Then the elves can help once you've mastered the basics. But you might never get past the basics, even with your promise, so don't get your hopes up. I don't think you'll be wiping an entire horde of goblins with one spell anytime soon.
The wizard replied. Ian grinned.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd get quite that good anyway. What are the basics?
Well, you might be able to summon a puff of smoke or make fire or something.
What? Why didn't you tell me that before we started wasting our time learning tiny tricks? A puff of smoke isn't going to help much against the dragon and an army of trolls. I need to at least be able to do that mini flash of daylight thing. I want to have a hope of surviving this.
Hey! Don't judge the puffs of smoke. Smoke signals are very effective in combat when you signal your troops in the other quadrant and they can go,
We're not going to have
I know
any
what the smoke
troops in
signal
the
means.
other quadrant if we don't ask people to freaking help.
Well, that's what we're doing. We're doing that, and we're doing the puffs of smoke magic. That's our plan. We have puffs of smoke, and we have some half-starved
plans have multiple
farmers.
steps. That's just doing a thing.
I mean, there's still another step of walking to the mountain first.
That's a lot of steps, actually.
That is a lot of steps, actually.
I guess it's the plan.
Oh no. I lost track of where we were.
Me too.
Mini puff. Oh yeah, if you want to have a chance of surviving this, you hope to at least do the mini flash of daylight thing. He literally is saying the thing about
Oh
the puff.
gosh.
A puff of smoke might be all it takes to save your life in a fight, so don't underestimate it. It isn't what you learn or how you learn that is important. It's what you do with the knowledge you have that matters. Look, we don't have all the time in the world, so you simply aren't going to have time to learn as much and become as powerful as a master magician. You'll just have to trust in some of those... What? You'll just have to trust in those of us with more power than you. You do your job, we'll do ours, and sometimes in impossible quests like these, all it takes is a one-man army. What? And sometimes in impossible quests like this, all it takes is a one-man army. Okay, I don't know. That goes literally against what you just said, but sure. So even if you can't save your friends, that's helpful, that's hopeful, you can save yourself with a tiny spell while they hold off your enemies. Meanwhile, you can do whatever else needs to be done. Remember what your knife says, divide and conquer, the wizard reminded. And whoever said that you were definitely going to survive this. There's nothing wrong with dying for the cause if it's necessary.
Well, that's encouraging. Just
Yep.
so much encouragement packed into this paragraph.
Oh, alright, I'm sorry. Ian replied, standing shakily and grabbing the chair for support.
You look tired. Get some rest. Meet me back here whenever you wake up,
The wizard ordered. If you wake up, you haven't eaten in 3 days, and you
Yikes.
now have wasted all of your energy on making puffs of smoke and levitating feathers, I guess. The wizard walking to the door with the wizard. The wizard walked out first, then Ian followed, closing the door behind them and removing the key. Ian put a hand on the golden door frame as it shrunk back into its chest form, so it ended up in Ian's hand when it had finished shrinking.
I think I'll stop by Narvel's shop on the way home and see how things are going with him. I'll also pack up any useful inventions from my dad's room there and put them in the portable room in case we ever need them, Ian decided as he walked out of the door to the wizard's new house.
Imagine Narvel not going in that room and trying out any of the inventions there.
Mm-hmm.
For 8 years! Why?
Oh, you don't have time for all that. Just leave the junk there and save room for the things we might need to put in there someday.
Oh, it can't hurt to bring them for now, just in case, Ian argued.
Fine, but you'd better use them only to help us and not to make you waste precious time with your tinkering. We have lots of work to do and not much time to do it in.
I know. Good night. Ian finished, setting out into the night. He walked for several minutes before reaching Narvel's shop, at which point he knocked loudly on the wooden door. After a few moments, he rapped again. When Narvel still didn't answer the door, Ian began to worry.
Oh no, he
that-
chopped off his other foot. If you want to be my lover.
You gotta chop off your feet.
Oh no.
Ian began to worry that one of the village folk had been rash enough to kill Narvel for even suggesting
Bruh.
that a revolution was necessary. Narvel! Ian called softly, trying not to wake the entire village in his efforts to rouse the old man. A moment later, Narvel opened the door.
Oh, I'm glad it's you, heathen.
What did you say?
I called you a heathen, sorry. Oh, I'm glad it's you, Ian.
Narvel sighed, ushering him in and closing the door behind him. Narvel held a knife in each hand, ready to chuck him at his face. That
boy.
makes me uncomfortable.
Some of the villagers seemed willing to fight the dragon, but not many. Most of them got mad at me for suggesting something that could very well destroy their entire way of life. I thought you might be a surly one that wanted to silence me. I wasn't even going to open the door until I heard your voice. I think that if we're going to try to get the village on our side, privately muttering is not the way to do it. If you want to start a revolution, you need to show the people that there are more like them that are willing to stand up for the cause. If you do it privately, they might think it's just a few of them. We need to encourage them by going public and preaching at them on the streets. On a soapbox saying hell is near, and I don't know. We need to stop being safe and risk it all if we want this to work. That's just my recommendation, and I've completely lost Narble's voice.
Once again, I love how, like, this is the first thing he said to Ian, but just goes on a paragraph rant.
He's giving a
'Cause that's how
comprehensive
humans...
update on all his work for the day, I guess.
That is how humans talk to each other. They don't ever leave room for other people to speak, ever.
No, the villagers are cancelled for raising one finger against Narble. Oh.
Do we want this to work? The moment the dragon catches wind of a gathering in the street of people that are publicly
How?
opposing him...
How is he going to catch wind of this? Who is near? There's no goblins in this area, right? There's no trolls in this area. They don't come and bother because there's a wizard here.
Mr.
Who's spying
Mr.
on people in this...
Mustache isn't gonna tell him the bad news.
Sleazy McMustache? Who's that?
That guy. Red skin, pointy ear.
Oh, Ligark. Ah, yes, that guy.
He's not gonna tell him.
No bad news. What? That's gonna get him roasted.
Exactly.
Literally roasted.
Our village doesn't stand a chance, Ian warned.
Who am I? Narble.
There isn't another collection troll coming for another few months. We got plenty of time. Now is the time to start something.
Narble pointed out. Ian nodded. He varies from pirate to, like, diseased miner. Like, there's quite a big range there, and I can't figure out where he is. Not like small person miner, but like clinkety pickaxe miner.
I'm a miner. Okay. Either tomorrow or the next day, I'll meet with you and we can start planning.
You mean you aren't going to save ya?
No, I'm planning on doing that too, and I'm also planning on traveling from village to village trying to share our views.
Sounds like you got a pretty tight agenda there. How are you going to walk that fast?
You know...
Have you got a Fitbit? You're gonna need it.
I'm gonna...
You're gonna cry.
Yeah.
You're gonna put some dirt in your eye.
I'm really tired. The wizard just keeps making me make puffs of smoke and he won't let me just take a nap.
The wizard's forcing you to smoke. Don't you know that smoking's bad for your lungs?
I know.
And vaping could deliver toxic metals directly into your lungs, like toxic nickel and lead and something. That's metal in your lungs.
Can also worsen symptoms of depression. And I'm really depressed.
Well, that I can't help you with. Well, maybe I can.
Bonk!
Oh boy.
Do you feel less depressed?
I have less brain cells. So
Good.
I think about the world less. So I'm happy.
Sorry. Alright, where am I actually supposed to say things?
You're at the bottom of the page.
Am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah, yes. We all need your silver tongue, laddie.
Do you? My skin be dry. Sorry. It's not the way I speak. It's the things. No. You got eczema? Sorry. Have you seen that video?
No.
This little kid is a vine, and I guess someone had said something about eczema, and the kid goes, "You got eczema?" The guy's like, "I got what?" He's like, "You got eczema?"
Okay.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Ian the Evangelist.
Oh,
Maybe he's
yeah.
a depressed youth pastor.
He literally is. Wow. Because he's with the kids all the time.
Oh no.
Feeding the
he
children.
really is. Oh, he hasn't spoken to them in a couple of days. I hope the kids are okay.
The kids are alright.
I hope they are.
But the kids
Ian hasn't
aren't
fed them.
alright.
They're probably gonna starve to death.
Oh no, what will they do with their singular cheese stick that they steal from his pocket?
If you were a cheese stick, would you be a cheese stick? You would be eaten by the children.
Oh no. It's not the way I speak. It's the things I say.
I'm so big brained.
You've got the same ideas.
I have the mathematical answers. I am Pythagoras.
It's simple algebra.
Simple algebra.
You got the same ideas. Just lay it on them. Ian encouraged, grinning.
If you say so.
Narble agreed reluctantly.
But I have the funny feeling that if you didn't come out a bunch here, we're all gonna be dead.
Everyone is going to be dead if we don't act if we don't act fast, Ian pointed out. Narble nodded sadly.
I would point out that the urgency of why they need to all like act immediately is not exactly clear. Like they've been surviving like this for a while, so why they suddenly need to act immediately? I did come up with a note for like explaining that and changing it, but I never actually implemented it because I, like I said, never went back and edited it. But originally, or I came up with the idea of, oh, I'm gonna have like this dark corruption spreading from like an evil wizard thing, and it's like killing the forest and making the wildlife die, and everyone's gonna starve to death because not enough crops, etc., etc. So they like actually need to do something. It's kind of gotten to a breaking point. And then that's like a sub boss as well. Like they'd also need to deal with the wizard who's being a jerk. The bad wizard, not the wizard. There's too many wizards. They all just named wizard. Anyway, never got that far. So yeah, they just decided they need to go quickly at this point.
That's what I've been telling myself for years, but I never had the confidence to act.
That's my problem too, Narble, Ian responded sadly. There was a pause of several seconds before Ian changed the subject. So, Narble, do you mind if I take my dad's projects out of his room? I'm packing up all the interesting little gadgets that might be able to help us. I'm heading to my cave next to see if I can get anything useful from there.
Well, they never were mine. Of course you can take them. But, Ian, since when do you live in a cave?
Yes, sadly.
I've lived in that hole since my parents' house burned down. Since before I met you. But the past is past, and I don't care about it anymore.
Oh, you poor boy. Man, now, I suppose.
I'm not
And
a
that's
girl, I'm a
what's in
boy. I'm a man.
I'm a
I'm
man.
a man.
Slams trunk.
Is this the return
We get another
of Clyde Parker?
Clyde Parker! Oh boy! Get hyped for Clyde Parker, everyone.
Who's speaking? Is it Clyde Parker?
I think it's Clyde Parker, probably. Oh man, I need to remember how.
Oh, thank goodness! Thank goodness! Oh, thank goodness!
The foggy, echoing voice sighed as Ia slowly regained consciousness. She was alive, but in bad shape. She knew because of the immense pain she felt in the back of her head and the headache she had inside. She slowly opened her eyes, squinting to avoid being hit in the eyes with the ever-falling rain droplets. They were back on the road, plodding along as usual, except that the troll was limping heavily on the leg that had been severely injured with a knife. The knife still stuck out of the back of the troll's leg too, so apparently Clyde Parker had decided to tend to Ia's wounds before the troll's. Clyde Parker sat in the cage with Ia, his hand on her head. Ia found that she could hear the sound of rain and the sound of the troll's footsteps out of her right ear, but could not hear a thing from her left ear.
I understood that reference.
The person in real life that this is based off of was deaf in one ear because of an injury that split her skull.
Gotta include that.
Similar. Yep, just gotta be painful. Yikes. I'm sorry. She tried to reach up and feel it, but instead accidentally poked herself in the eye.
Okay.
She felt like her limbs were weighed down with lead and she couldn't move the way she wanted to.
Am I okay?
Now she has brain damage.
broccoli.
She's got to have a different voice. I'm kidding.
Clyde
She's
Parker
suddenly
smiled.
a
Just wakes
Texan.
up.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
I miss
no.
minutes, y'all.
Am I okay, y'all? I feel a little weird in the head. I don't know.
Clyde Parker smiled.
I think that you will be alright. You were sliced in the back of the head with a sword. You had a fractured skull, major brain damage, and you lost a lot of blood as we were escaping. But I used magic to save your life and heal you as best I could.
Why can I not hear from this ear? Ia asked, pointing clumsily to her left ear, which had a haunting quality to it. She heard absolute silence from it, even as water droplets landed in it. It was a strange hole of nothingness, where something used to exist.
Oh, I lost track where we were, sorry.
That should be the least of your problems. Your brain was split in half. Honestly, I'm surprised you don't have more damage. Do you know how many fingers am I holding up?
7?
I mean, technically, I guess that's right, but that's not what I meant. Did that make you smarter?
I think you did. I have really good intuition now. I know what
Well,
you're
gosh
thinking.
darn! What am I thinking right now?
Thinking about some deep dish pizza.
She's psychic? I have more magic powers than I thought I had. This is amazing.
This is exactly what.
Can I do the same thing to myself? If I were to chop my head, and then I can't use magic to heal myself because I'm...
Yeah, maybe don't do that.
You have a point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A point also hit me in the back of the head.
It was more of a slice. Not really a... Yeah, I mean...
Do I still have hair back here, or is it, like, gone?
You don't want to know. It's a good thing we don't have a mirrors.
Very goopy back here.
Mirrors aren't
in your
invented.
brain.
Is this a piece of your brain? Okay. Oh dear. All right.
You got distracted.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, I believe that the brain damage will probably leave you deaf and out of here forever, and your coordination may be messed up for a long time. Luckily, you have a whole month or so to recover, and then you'll get eaten by the dragon.
Clyde Parker replied. He turned away.
Don't remind me of my fate, Ia replied. Clyde Parker sighed and waved his staff, disappearing for a moment and then
What?
reappearing on top of Ia's
Oh,
cage.
he can teleport. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Clyde Parker, the ultimate Avenger.
Ia then noticed that the troll still had several knives stuck in him.
I just thought of Clyde Parker teleports away and then teleports into the dragon's butt and makes him explode like Ant-Man. I'm sorry, I don't know why that popped in my head. They could have defeated the dragon so many times over.
Oh gosh. So she surreptitiously reached out of her cage and grabbed a knife, gently pulling it out of the troll's back. Gently pulling it. Yep, okay. The troll flinched slightly, but Clyde Parker didn't notice. Ia hid the small knife in her clothes, planning to use it in a crazy escape attempt after she was delivered to the dragon's mountain. Then she decided to have compassion for the troll's pain. Clyde Parker, could you help the troll now? At least take the knife from his leg.
Oh, sorry. Eating my deep dish pizza. What'd you say?
I think the troll
Honey
is in
bun?
pain a little bit.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, I forgot. But I'm very tired. It takes a lot of energy to use magic, in case you didn't know.
I know, but look, it's cutting deeper and deeper into his leg with every step he takes.
All right.
Clyde Parker responded, waving his staff. Instantly, every weapon that was stuck in the troll dislodged itself from the
Jeez.
troll's body and flew up to Clyde Parker's perch, causing the troll to roar in pain. Ah! Ah! In fact, even the knife that Ia had tried to hide was taken away. Clyde Parker noticed that his spell had confiscated a knife from Ia, and he frowned at her. He then grabbed all the weapons somehow, with his hands, I guess, and threw them all off the top of the cage. They landed in the woods, off the road.
Why'd you do that? Were you planning on killing me?
No, sorry, I was going to try to escape after you delivered me to the mountain. I thought that the knife might be helpful in getting me out of whatever trap they put me in. If I escape after I was already in the mountain, they wouldn't be able to blame our village for not holding up their end of the deal. They'll have to blame their own gods or something. I'd like to live. If it doesn't put my village in danger, that is, Ia replied.
Clyde Parker's smarter than you. You ain't getting one pulling the wool over my brain cells.
After a pause, Clyde Parker looked back at the weapons he had disposed of, seeming to wonder whether they were worth retrieving. He then seemed to give up on the idea, and he reached under his robe and took something from his belt, and then held it out to Ia. She took several tries before she managed to grasp it in her recalcitrant fingers. I have no idea what that word is. It was a
It's a
sheathed
vocab word
dagger.
from, like, 7th grade or
Of
something.
course it was.
It's like, sluggish, what's a good way to say it? Stubborn, refusing to cooperate.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously her fingers aren't working as intended.
Mm-hmm.
It was a sheathed dagger.
I'd like you to live too.
So Clyde Parker responded with a slight smile.
Clyde Parker
Or a
ex
sad
Ia.
smile. Oh no, the ship we
They
never
have
know
more
we needed.
chemistry than
Oh
her and
no,
Ian.
oh no, you're right.
I mean, we are partners and starting a necessary revolution, right?
Yes, we are. Thank you.
Don't stab me with that. I will be very offended.
I won't.
Also
I'm
dead.
too nice for that. And
Also
also, I
dead.
really have bad coordination. I'm really not sure that I could.
That you do. I
Yeah.
saw your brain.
You saw my brain.
I saw your brain in half. I mean, he saw your brain in half. I saw your brain in half.
Oh boy.
Clyde Parker is my new favorite.
I love him. I'm sad it's over already.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if we get another scene with him. What are they going to talk about next?
Clyde.
I mean,
come
surely they're going to
back.
say something, maybe, but like, what else are they going to do with Clyde Parker? Why they're
Escape,
just
maybe?
walking?
I don't know.
But
Once they get there.
I don't know.
I
I don't think I ever wrote that far. Is the problem? We're already at page 75. We've got maybe 50 pages max more of this before it just devolves into just here's something I want to have happen. Here's another scene that I want to have happen. Here's some more notes on random things that I need to know at some point. And here's stuff I want to go back and change.
If we find any notes on Clyde, we can improv that scene. What was supposed to happen?
I could just like Control F Tillum and be like,
Clyde
where is
Parker.
Clyde Parker?
Yes.
I gotta listen to more Ian nonsense.
I don't
Ian is
care.
exhausting. Ian's scenes are not worth reading, honestly.
I want Clyde back.
I want Clyde. I want the dragon as well.
Yeah.
Ligark and Clyde are the ones I'm interested in.
Me too.
Everyone else is kind of just there.
Yeah.
How long is this scene? Is it worth skipping? Like, honestly, I'm considering skipping the main character's scene because I don't care. Oh, how long was it?
There's more Clyde
Where's
Parker!
more Clyde Parker? Okay, that gives us motivation. We can
get through this.
All right, thank goodness there's more Clyde Parker.
I was afraid.
My real daddy died. What?
I don't know what that is, but okay.
All right.
My real daddy died.
I don't know how we get to that point, but okay, here we go.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, this is such a mess, this story.
Clyde Parker. It took Ian a long time to wake up. He was exhausted, depressed, and overwhelmed. There was so much to do, so many
Sounds
things
usual.
to learn and plan and try. Wait, why does that remind me of Sophia the First? How does her song even go?
I don't know. I've never listened to that show.
I can't even remember. I just know that it's okay. My brain's not working. Ian's whole world was completely falling apart, and every aspect of his life was going berserk. Ian awoke with stiff joints, and he didn't want to get up. He groaned and rolled over, feeling his head spin. Maybe I had overdone
sleep
it
on
a
a
bit.
rock.
Yesterday, after all. Ian thought, looking across his unusually bare room. Ian had put all of his mechanical contraptions into the tiny golden chest room, which
boy.
Ian had come to love.
Here we
I
go,
hate how many
Super
times he
EA
said
again.
Ian.
Yeah.
It was such a useful, interesting tool. Ian rolled to his feet, hearing many of his joints pop. Oh, geez. Once again, he's 78 years old. And he looked out the window.
He's an old man in a young person's body.
He is.
Just like the dragon.
They switched.
Parallels.
Whoa. Ah. The sun was hard to pinpoint.
It's so deep. I'm 16 and this is deep.
Oh, so deep.
If only it actually had more meaning.
Yeah. The sun was hard to pinpoint due to the clouds, but from what Ian could tell, it was directly overhead, meaning that Ian had slept far past his normal time for getting up.
Congrats.
His
You are
stomach
stupid.
made a noise
Here's
of-
your stupid person trophy.
His stomach made a noise of complaint, reminding Ian that he was hungry, but Ian decided not to eat. He knew that the village children were probably starving to death and needed what little food he had more than he did.
He has food.
Apparently.
Same then. Ian took one last look around his cave, which Ian had cleared out of any... Why did he say his name twice? It's right there. Literally the previous phrase.
Nobody else is being talked
Ian had
about.
cleaned out any of the supplies that could be useful in the future. Then, Ian walked out of the cave, shut the door behind him, and left with the intention of never returning. Of course, the last time he had done the same thing, he had wound up being thwarted by the wizard. Ian sighed, shaking his head at the absurdity of what nightmarish troubles the future might hold, as opposed to the overly wonderful things that Ian hoped could happen. Wait, what?
I swear, you're just allergic to the word he. Just can't ever say that.
Apparently. Only time would tell the results, but Ian had a sinking feeling that things would not go well as he hoped. He
Wow,
took a deep
pronoun!
breath, stopping his walk back to the village for a moment as he tried to hold back tears of regret, anger, and overwhelming stress. These next few weeks would most likely see Ian's death, along with the deaths of hundreds or thousands of more humans and other creatures. Well, gotta love that optimism.
Woo!
Ow, I punched myself in the rib.
Jenna says, our savior, Clyde Parker!
Clyde Parker!
Everyone's gonna be crushing on Clyde Parker by the end of this.
Honestly,
He's probably some nasty, like, goblin man.
he
but,
is a hobgoblin, but
But you know,
I can imagine him as beautiful.
Clyde Parker is beautiful.
I ship
to
Clyde
me.
Parker and yeah.
That is the only acceptable ship. Gonna take over Ian's place.
Yeah.
Ian managed to hold back his emotions as he continued his trudge into the village, and suddenly he stopped, fear flooding through him. The area had been free of trolls for years, and now now Ian had stumbled across a huge 10-foot-tall blue-skinned troll, which was stomping through the forest without a care in the world.
Bruh.
It was pretty cloudy,
Why?
so no direct sunlight posed a danger to the troll. Ian was lucky not to have been noticed or smelled, as he hadn't been paying much attention to his surroundings. Ian quickly leapt into the bushes to observe the troll for a moment. He appeared to be walking away from the village, and if Ian was correct, the troll appeared to be chewing on something too. Ian wrinkled his brow as the troll passed out of sight, hoping that there had not just been a troll raid on the village, and that whatever it was eating was not alive. Ian decided not to try attacking it, as he continued walking to the village, only more alert now.
Oh boy, why are there trolls here? Did the goblin raiders from earlier get upsetty spaghetti that they could not rob the caged goblin troll thing, and they were like, hey, let's go kick the beehive of trolls and make them angry.
Oh boy.
I don't know. As Ian had suspected, he was met with the cheerful embraces of the children that had noticed his arrival, which was a clear indication that there had been no troll raid yet. Ian gave them all the food he had with him, which was a substantial amount due to the fact that he had stocked up for his long journey to the Dragon's Mountain, now postponed until further notice. After they had eaten their fill, Ian had some left over, some of which he ate, while the rest he saved. I mean, yeah, what else would you do with it? You're all starving to death.
Eat it.
Freaking...
Where is Samanthea? Ian asked, looking around for the youngest girl of the children's usual group. The other children looked away sadly.
Oh no!
She died!
No! Freaking...
Oh no. What happened?
Well, the collecting troll came and took Ia.
The oldest boy...
Oh, when the collecting troll came and took Ia,
The oldest boy related.
it also, took Samanthea's older sister.
No, Samanthea.
Cynthia's older sister.
And then Samanthea disappeared the day afterwards. Nobody knows where she went. 3 other kids have vanished too.
Why is he becoming
My brother
Clive
was one of
Barker?
I don't know how to do a young boy voice, the boy told Ian, looking at his feet.
Oh no, Ian sighed, shaking his
It
head.
is true. What is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you? Shaking his head sadly as he sat down on the ground. The children gathered around him in concern as he again struggled to contain his emotions. His eyes began to water despite his efforts, however, and tears leaked down his face as he again spoke. Have you already looked for them?
Yes. Oh, this is another child, not the boy child again. You want to be the other child?
Any other voice. I'm not good at coming up with voices like you are. Give me inspiration.
Baby.
Yes, but no one could find any, no one could find any twins of them.
Oh my gosh.
Another child replied. I'm so sorry. Ian said, his voice thick.
Are you going to look for them too?
Oh, I don't know if that's the same one.
It's a different.
Well, they're all babies.
They're
now.
all babies. Everyone is a baby.
The small boy asked. Yes, but I think that it will probably be too late, Ian replied sadly, staring at the ground between his legs. He looked up, giving all the kids a serious warning look. Now you all listen to me. Be careful from now on. Don't go walking near the woods without an adult around. I know you used to be able to do that before, but times have changed. I'm not trying to ruin your fun. I'm trying to keep you safe. Do you trust me?
I'll
Do
chuck
I
a knife in your
throw
face.
a knife at you? The remaining children nodded gravely. Good, Ian commented, smiling half-heartedly. I care about all of you very much, and I would hate to find out that any more of you have been kidnapped by goblins or eaten by trolls, Ian told them.
Way to scare the children.
After a moment, the smallest boy of the group reached forward and gave Ian a hug.
It's okay. Small child. Babyling.
I don't even know which boy voice.
Well, it's the smallest one, so
Okay.
it must have been the baby.
What's happening?
The boy asked sadly, as many of the other children followed his lead, crowding in upon
Help,
Ian.
I am being suffocated by the children.
Many things. I don't understand them all, but I'll try to help keep you all as safe as I can. Ian promised as the children toppled
There they
Ian
go.
over and crushed him under the weight of
His
a group hug,
lungs have collapsed.
composed of nearly 15 small people.
That is a lot of small people.
Careful! He laughed as he fell over, encouraging the children to pin him to the ground still harder, mischievous grins on their faces. Then Ian caught sight of several parents of the children who shot Ian jealous, disapproving glance. Jealous? What?
How can he even see them if he's got 15
I don't
people
know.
on him?
Ian's smile faded slightly at this sight.
Tell us a story, Ian. Can you play with us today?
They cried joyfully. Oh,
Didn't you just
I'm
say that
sorry.
two children have been kidnapped? Doesn't he need to like go deal with that? I kind of
Yeah.
lost track of that conversation a little bit, but all right.
They're just like, they're probably dead.
Oh well, you know, it happens all the time, I guess.
I'm a little busy today, but I'm sure your parents would be more than happy to spend some time with you. Go give them hugs, Ian encouraged, sitting up and pointing to the scowling parents that were doing their chores as they kept an eye on their children. The children seemed apprehensive about Ian's suggestion.
But we have them all the time.
A little girl argued. You be the boy.
My parents are always too busy for me, and they're mean. The boy retorted. I guarantee you, my parents were worse.
Do they throw knives at you?
Then you're fine.
Then
Go
hush.
home.
It's within the acceptable level of abuse.
Oh no!
Oh, I'm sorry. I know what that's like, Ian replied sadly. But you have to love them anyway, even if you don't always like them, okay?
Story progress is plot twist. The most dangerous thing in this world isn't a dragon or a wizard, it's the children!
Oh no! I had parents that weren't always the nicest, but now I wish that I had taken more time to mend my relationship with them. I don't think you did anything wrong. You were 8 and they were the ones throwing knives at you, so just saying, there's not much you could have done.
Yeah, that was
Ian
a mess.
sighed. Believe me, your parents can do more for you than I can. In case you hadn't noticed, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. I don't fit in. And I don't want to fit in. I'm sorry, I had to. I was doing the voice, and the line came up, I had to. I'm not as busy as they are most of the time. Wait, what? Oh, I'm as busy as they are most of the time. Maybe even more so, Ian pointed out. There was a confused moment of silence as the children tried to decide what to do. They were now gathered around Ian, sitting in the middle of the dirt street. The smallest boy leaned over and whispered in Ian's ear.
But I don't love my parents,
he whispered sadly. Ian looked at him in compassion. That is
Do
sad.
you love me? I am almost an adult child, and you are a child. I'm confused.
But you can still try to, can't you? You can still act as though you do and make them happy, and then they might do the same for you, right? I'm not sure how good this advice is, but Ian whispered back.
No, I can't. I hate them.
The boy replied angrily.
Edgy boy.
They didn't give enough food, so they left me out on the streets to starve. I would have died without your food. They won't accept me back home, the boy replied sadly.
Ouch.
Several of the
That's
other
right.
children nodded in assent, having experienced the same thing.
That's
Ian frowned.
How many? There's like 15.
Jeez.
How can there be disapproving parents that are jealous that they don't have as good a relationship with their kids as this random guy? But there's
Then
also children who have literally been abandoned, and they're like, oh yeah, we've also been abandoned.
I
We're
don't
just
know.
orphans, I guess. All right.
I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I was abandoned by my parents
This is
too,
a messed up world.
and I had to raise myself alone. I wish I could help you more, but all I can tell you is to go ask them if times are better now.
No, they're
What?
not. That's why you've been saying, yo, we need to stop the dragon now because we're all
Yeah.
going to die. Whee.
I wish you were my daddy.
Oh,
One
oh,
of the
that's
other
where this
children-
line comes from.
I figured it was a kid.
Oh my gosh.
Ian turned to her slowly, trying to think of what to say. But what about... My real daddy died. She cut Ian off. He sighed, looking at the ground.
I am sorry, child.
I'm sorry, Ian whispered. He said it like 20 times already.
Yeah.
Tears continued to flow
Well,
down
what
his
else
face.
do you say?
This all has to stop. All this death, all this poverty. Ian decided, looking up in frustration. That cursed dragon, he's destroying
can fix
absolutely
this.
everything. Food is more valuable than gold now because he's starving us to death, Ian complained. He shifted himself into a kneeling position and then took the hands of 2 children on his left and right. He looked each one of the group in the eyes and he spoke in a very serious tone. I'm going to be living on the wizard's new house, okay?
On it.
On the house.
On the roof.
Until I leave. So don't go out to my cave. I'll do everything I can to help all of you and any other children that need help, but I can't be your daddy for very long. I might be going away for a while to end this once and for all. Will you promise to look after each other and stay safe when I'm not around? Ian asked. They all nodded after a few moments. You promise? Ian asked. There was another pause before they finally agreed. Will be the 10-year-old?
Where are you gonna go? The oldest of the group, a 10-year-old boy asked.
Away.
Away!
That's not an answer.
Away
It
in
is
a
if you're a
mage.
jerk like me.
Wow.
Do you remember that
Huh?
from the video?
What?
It was in one of the arcade videos when someone asked like, "Oh, but where's Vander or something?" And someone said he left, and they were like, "But where?" And you went, "Away, you frickin' idiot!" I was like, "Away is not an answer," and you're like, "It is if you're a jerk like me."
I love it.
You're the oldest, so you're in charge
Oh,
of
I'll
keeping
see you,
these guys.
Stormfroggo. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good one. Aw, Jana says my
that's
real money
sad.
died. Me as the kid.
Here, I'll be
Aw,
super
I'm
EJ
so
for you.
sorry.
I'm sorry. My parents died too. It's all very sad. I'm gonna
Don't make
fix
fun of her
the
real life
dragon.
trauma. This is a dumb character.
I'm sorry, I'm being the bad boy. What? I'm sorry, my brain's literally
Are you
dying.
okay?
No, I'm not.
All
Sorry.
right.
What am I talking about? You're in charge of keeping these guys well while I'm gone, Ian replied as he stood. There was a pause. I have to go, but I'll see you later, Ian said, beginning to walk away. The children sat there staring at each other as he left, and Ian felt horrible for not helping them more. But there was really little he could do. He might be able to prolong their lives a little by staying into the village? Okay. But since the entire land was dying, it wouldn't do much good, unless Ian attacked the root of the problem, the dragon. Well, I can't read. That was the only way to truly help them. Ian sighed, trying to focus his attention on the revolution rather than the children.
Think of the children. It's all for the children.
For the children. Ian reached the wizard's new house, knocking lightly on the door. Jaina says, "Thank you, Super EJ."
Super EJ and Lipless McKay are my favorite Avengers.
I hate that.
Oh no. Come in, Evan! The wizard called
Evan?
weakly. Sorry.
Wrong book.
that was Merlin. My Merlin days are coming back.
Uh-oh.
Come in, Ian, the wizard called weakly. Ian opened the door to find that the wizard was in bed again and looked very weak.
Oh my gosh. What happened to you? Ian cried, closing the door.
I ate a potato! It was a bad potato!
Some of those rotten potatoes from Minecraft.
Yes.
I could ask you the same. Why have you been crying, and what took you so long to get here?
The wizard responded. Ian stopped, wiping away his tears self-consciously.
Just a rather heartbreaking encounter with the village children, Ian replied. Oh, and a near-death experience when walking here from my cave. I almost walked right into a troll that was wandering across the path.
A troll? Here?
Thought you ought to know.
Troll in the dungeon!
I know. I think that the demon who cast that spell on you...
The demon didn't cast the charm on me. It was a pesky little forest imp that had enchanted me.
Okay.
How did he find... Why...
He just knows everything.
He's exposition man, of course.
Yeah.
Apparently, that imp had been hiding in my house for years, causing mischief and renewing his enchantments. I'm not sure if he worked for the dragon or not, but it was relatively easy to kill when I found it in the ruins of my tower the day after you killed the demon. The demon must have arrived only... This is exposition posture.
Every time exposition happens, we do this.
Yeah, we just do this until it's over. This is idle animation for useless dialogue. The demon must have arrived only a few days before you killed it, though, and I feel pretty confident in saying that he must have been sent by the dragon. Actually, that means that when his collection troll gives him the news about my having survived, the dragon will probably put our village at the top of his hit list. The wizard trailed off. Ian waited for a moment. Oh, I'm sorry, what were you saying? Sorry, I just felt the need to, vomit dialogue from my brain regarding useless topics that are unnecessary and not even that relevant.
Thanks, I really
Just
liked it.
confusing plot elements to describe for no reason.
Cool, thank you.
This is a rough draft.
Well, I was saying that I think the dragon's demon told all the trolls in the area that once you were dead, this village would be safe to raid again. And even though you didn't die, you've been weak, and your health has been going up and down very erratically because of your bite. So
Okay.
now the trolls are starting to
How
get
do I
brave
know
enough
this?
to come around again.
How does the troll know that he is bit?
I believe them to be responsible for the disappearance of 4 children already.
Bruh.
Oh no! I hate trolls!
The wizard snarled.
So do I, Ian sighed, clutching the charm
Oh
on his
man,
neck.
I hate bad guys.
Oh, they're
They're
just so
bad.
bad.
Wow.
Aw, bad guys being bad.
Wow. So far, all the trolls have had like a negative 2% intelligence, though.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
Stick a bit of wood up his nose.
fair. Ron Weasley tactic.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do with whatever strength I can muster.
The wizard said, summoning the energy to swing his leg out of bed. The wizard stood, hobbling over to Ian.
I'm fine.
The wizard assured Ian, who was looking concernedly at the old man.
Let's get back to training, eh?
If you say so.
Thump.
Ian agreed.
Ah!
Taking the golden chest out of his pocket.
This really is the perfect training room for magic learning.
The wizard commented a moment later as they walked into the portable room. Inside, Ian noticed the same little fairy that had been flying around him at the king's
Why?
gravesite. It's still here. It just exists. Gasp! It is a forest imp. It's going to do bad things.
Uh-oh.
Clearly.
Uh-oh.
I always lose my place entirely when I do that. Apparently it had been flying around. What? That had been flying around him at his parents' gravesite. It apparently had been forgotten and left in the room, and had now taken up residence in the room. There was a small fairy nest in the corner. What is a fairy nest in the corner near the ceiling, which had appeared to be made of dust, dirt, and old twigs? Gross. It's a dust bunny lair. Ian watched the small creature flutter between the many inventions in the room, investigating and exploring. Cute. I guess.
Suppose so.
I still don't
Ian
know what they look
replied.
like. There's been no
Yeah,
description
I
It's
don't
other
know.
than it is yellow. And it
Do you
apparently
know
has
what
emotions.
yellow means?
Do you know what yellow means?
Ian replied, leaving the door open behind the wizard and him so that they wouldn't disappear.
After we've learned today, I can't help but think the wizard might have interior motives for not wanting kids to disappear. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. Creepy.
No.
Call the pedophiles.
No,
in the
no,
words
no,
of
no,
EJ.
no. What? When did I say that?
You said, do we need to call the pedophiles?
Oh no! I messed that up entirely.
Yeah.
What? Oh. You already read that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why is the door open?
The wizard asked as Ian sat down across from the wizard's place at the large wooden table.
In case the children come trying to find us, screaming that the trolls are invading, Ian replied.
Fair enough.
Children? You
Where?
have children?
No! No!
I'm sorry.
What do you have? A knife!
No!
The wizard asked in surprise, staring at Ian. Ian looked back, confused.
Yes, the village children, Ian responded suspiciously. You should be suspicious.
Oh, I totally thought you meant that you had your own. Never mind.
I'm 16.
The wizard trailed off upon seeing Ian's glare. There was an embarrassing silence as the wizard opened his mouth to speak again. How could that possibly be the case?
I mean, like, it's
Like,
possible, but
The only girl he's
why
remotely gotten close to is your daughter, and you would know if she had gotten pregnant.
in theory, that is how that works.
I mean, unless you've really been in your, like, La La Land world and you didn't realize what was happening. I mean, I don't know.
That's just very strange to assume that a 16-year-old has multiple children, but okay.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Sure.
Just, alright, whatever.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the other idea where he's actually just like, children, where? Oh wait, I mean, yeah,
I
totally.
mean,
I was surprised because I thought you had your own kids or something. That's just congrats, man. I didn't know you had kids.
You would be very suspicious.
No, I'm not being. You're being suspicious. You don't trust me when I stick knives in your face.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. It's because you're crazy.
Enjoyment. Oh boy.
Can we drop the subject? Ian requested in annoyance, interrupting the wizard. Why is he just annoyed and not just, like, super confused as to why the wizard would ever think that? But okay.
This wizard is sus.
He then
Sus among
closed
us.
his mouth in reluctant agreement.
Oh, right, sorry. Yes, let's talk about the dragon or something.
Alright, what about him? Ian asked. The wizard thought for a moment.
He has 4 legs,
Mm-hmm.
and he has 2 wings,
Mm-hmm.
and he has 1 tail.
Mm-hmm.
So it stands to reason that he has 0 butts.
What?
Well, he's got 4 of something, then it goes down to 2 of something, then he goes down to 1 of something, so the next step in the process is obviously 0, right? That's just how math works.
Yeah, just like how you have 4 limbs and then you have 2 eyes and you have 1 nose and 0 brain cells.
You got me. Oh no. Yeah, ulterior motives. I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
I read it anyway because I didn't know if I was the idiot. Because anterior is a word, right? It just means something else.
Maybe.
It's like the opposite of posterior.
I guess.
Which doesn't make sense in that context, but doesn't matter. Anyway, what about?
How about we need a big army to kill the dragon?
Wait,
Wait, what?
what? Hold on.
How did that
Wait,
happen?
Ian asked. Oh, the wizard thought for a moment, and then Ian speaks again, but it's on 2 separate lines just to be
That's
confusing,
weird,
I
okay.
guess. Ref draft.
How about we need a big army to kill the dragon? Ian asked jokingly.
Well, that isn't entirely true. To kill the dragon, we just need a few men to stab the dragon to death in his sleep, having one pry the scales apart while the other stab him in the heart. But in order to get to the dragon, we will most likely need a big force. And in order to get a big army, we will need leaders to speak out and lead their followers into battle. Strong leaders, like you, who has never led anyone in the past and barely speaks to anyone. You, caveman, are a perfect opportunity for leadership, obviously. I can tell because I just know these things. You check
Where's
this out.
the heartstone? In my heart.
Oh,
then I'll cut it out.
Oh no!
Anterior means front. It's a preposition.
Aha, it
Yeah.
is the opposite of posterior.
Mm-hmm.
The wizard commented. Ian shook his head in denial.
But purposely taking control of people, as I've already told you, is not something I like to do
That's
or
also
can
something
do
the dragon
very
does.
effectively. I guess I'm just too nice to be mean in that way. I'm such
Okay.
a nice guy.
Wow, I'm not
Even
like
if-
other boys.
Even it's for the people's own good. Plus, I realistically can't take control of the entire world's forces without becoming a dictator or the dragon himself.
Oh!
Wow.
You wouldn't lead the entire army, just a part. I could lead another. Anyone else who is willing to lead as well. We could work together as a team, none of us asserting complete control. But you have to admit, there must be a core group of people to lead. Without guidance, these people will be too frightened to even think of fighting.
Agreed. I'm working with Narble to plan how we can start mobilizing our village. It's time. Today. As soon as
Today.
possible. We need to move.
Bruh.
Ian uttered with
Wait,
conviction.
you're mobilizing the entire village? To where?
I don't know.
To what? What do you don't have a plan. You don't have food. You don't have anything. What are you gonna do? Just walk up to the... It takes 30 days for a gigantic troll with like 30-foot strides to make it to the... And you're gonna just take your entire town with women and children and just have everybody walk to the mountain and just be like, yo, we're here.
Hey,
What's up? We're just
Stop that.
bad. Don't be bad anymore.
Facts and logic coming at you, dragon.
So he's planning to convince everyone today to move out. Why?
Flawless plan.
How? Why? How? What?
Sounds great to
I
me.
have many questions. Many questions. Anyway.
Agreed with a question mark. But what about your training? It would be very helpful for you to for you to learn magic, and you can't be trying to convince the village to join a suicidal cause while you're in here learning magic.
Well, we can train in the mornings, then I can rest a little bit, or take care of the children that are mine, definitely.
Yep.
And then we can go
He has
preach.
50. Whom's to be having this many kids? He had quadruplets 4 times.
Oh no! And then we could go preach about our crazy mission in the evenings. Sound like a good plan?
Very. once you get good enough for me to take you to the elves, hopefully we'll have this village convinced enough, and we can send some of our followers to go and spread the word to other villages. I hate this. We'll then have Narble start making more swords and less plows as soon as we finish training today. Excuse me, what? You're gonna finish? Oh, okay. Not finish training as in you're trained, but finish training today. Gotcha. The wizard decided. Ian grinned.
Yeah, he always liked making weapons better than tools anyway.
When has he ever needed to do this?
I don't know, but we're back to Clyde Parker, so I'm
Are
happy.
we? Are we? Yeah! I forgot we had
Hi,
a Clyde
Silver.
Parker scene.
Silver, you're just in time
Silver,
for our Clyde
welcome.
Parker.
We got our favorite
He's-
character here.
Yeah, he's the little hobgoblin that's riding on the troll that's taking Ia to the dragon. But they've been talking, and he kind of hates his life too, so he would be willing to rebel, but only if more people do than just him, because he doesn't want to do that. But he's a cool guy. He's got a New Yorker accent, and like it's just a fun time. So you got here just in time.
They also got a little chemistry with Ia, even though they're different races and there's not actually, it's not happening in the text, but we're having fun. We're reading into it a little bit.
Ia and Clyde Parker.
Which
His
maybe
name
we
isn't
shouldn't.
even Clyde Parker,
He also
but-
has a wife and child, probably. Wait,
Well,
no,
his child is
dead.
I don't know about the state of his wife, or
I
if
don't know.
I mean, I guess technically he didn't need to have a wife or
I mean,
have a child. But...
He has to, in order to have a child, he needs to have had a partner at one point.
Yes, but he didn't have to marry her.
I
He's
mean,
just taking the child around. He's not
Wow.
the wizard, he doesn't do that.
oh my gosh. I mean, where's he gonna run to?
Clyde Parker?
They live in a
A
mountain.
New Yorker? Much excites! You'll
Yeah.
love him, I
We've
promise.
chosen to rename him after the voice
Well, we
evolved.
didn't even know what his name was.
Yeah, we didn't know his name, so we
We were
made up a
just- we
name,
were
and then
improvising
we were
back
given
and
his
forth.
real name, and we didn't accept it. We
Yeah,
refused.
his name is not Tillum or whatever, it's Clyde
No.
Parker.
Clyde Parker.
Oh my gosh! This food is amazing! It explodes with flavor in your mouth!
Clyde Parker cheered, savoring the succulent fruits and tasting the delectable meat that had been in the Goblin Band's package.
The one that he took.
Oh, I forgot he actually took that. Huh.
Mhm.
Clyde Parker had opened the package, been amazed to have found actual food rather than rocks within, and had then used a few magic spells to test the food for poison. Remarkably, there was no poison, and there was nothing wrong with food, so he had tossed Ia some and begun to indulge himself with the incredible tasting food of the forest.
I know, Ia replied happily. This must be from a part of the forest that is still healthy and beautiful. Maybe those goblins were telling the truth after all.
Well, they certainly weren't about the peaceful society part.
Clyde Parker pointed out.
Yeah, well, I hope my words hit home with some of them at least.
Maybe. I suppose we'll see.
Hopefully I'll be around to see, Ia commented dejectedly, cutting into a fruit with the knife Clyde Parker had given her. Clyde Parker sighed sadly. You know, you really aren't bad. You're a nice guy, even though you're bringing me to my doom.
Thanks. I'm sorry to have to do this to you. I hate my job.
I have to do this as much as you do, Ia pointed out. No clothes, quotation mark. He nodded.
Fair enough.
Well, I hope the rest of this journey goes off without incident.
Clyde Parker wished. Sorry.
Oh, don't say that.
Hey, what's up, Foster? Welcome. You're just in time to hear the
Clyde Parker.
lovely voice of Clyde Parker, the
the New
hobgoblin.
Yorker hobgoblin.
Yeah, we've renamed him because his normal name was boring. Silver says, for a sec, I thought Ian had suddenly acquired an accent. No. This is a
Clyde Parker.
different guy, Clyde
Yeah.
Parker. Jaina says shipping them is just a little weird, but Clyde reminds me of the uncle that's not creepy and like genuinely good natured and would do anything for anyone.
Yeah, he's a good guy. We like Clyde.
Yeah, he's nice. He's a little rough around the edges, but he's
Yeah.
cool. Foster's just like, I see.
You'll like Clyde. Everyone does.
They better like Clyde.
Oh, don't say that. The longer it takes us to get there, the more time Ian and the others have to start a revolution. I'm sure they will.
Ian?
Clyde Parker asked. Ia froze, half-eaten fruit poised mid-bite.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna give any names to the dragon and have him go execute your allies. All the conversations that we have on our way never happened, if you know what I mean.
He winks. Ia smiles.
So who is Ian? You said his name in a weird way, stutteringly almost.
What, are you afraid you have competition?
Maybe.
I don't want to talk
Just
about it.
blushes.
Ian replied, finishing the
Oh,
last
this is such a
of-
short scene.
No!
of what Clyde Parker had given her. Thanks for the food. It almost made my headache go away, Ia said after a moment.
Oh, thanks for cautioning me. I'd be dead if it weren't for you.
He smirked. Smiled? Sorry, I can't read.
You are quite an extraordinary person.
Why is it? Huh? Why is he asking this? This is
I
kind
don't
of
know.
strange.
You're quite an extraordinary person. You're willing to become a martyr?
Well, apparently you are too.
Oh, well, I don't know. I'm probably gonna die.
What? Is it? I don't know. I'm probably gonna die, or I don't know. I'm probably gonna die.
I don't know.
I'm not sure what he's trying to
This
communicate
conversation's
here.
Getting strange.
Okay, I'm just gonna go with what I think.
Well, I don't know. I'm probably not gonna die. I still wanna live.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to emphasize right now. What is he trying to say? Okay, I don't know. I don't know I'm probably gonna die. I still want to live, and I'm not in any immediate danger right now. You,
Okay.
however, only have a very slim chance of escape once we get there. Alright, I'll drop back into the voice.
And after they realize you're gone, they'll threaten to kill your whole village unless you come back.
Clyde Barker responded.
Oh, Ia commented, defeated. So I have no hope at all.
Oh, don't say that.
Clyde Barker responded.
They might not even know you escaped. If you can change what it says on the report that someone will write when we get there.
Oh? Tell me everything you can about the dragon, the mountain, and the
He
politics.
stinks. They stink. It all stinks. The mountain's terrible. Everyone hates everyone.
And the politics surrounding it. I want to know how each species is treated, where they live, what goes on in the mountain, if there are any secret ways in or out. Basically, I'd like to hear everything that could possibly give us an advantage for when we start war, Ia pleaded, resheathing her knife and hiding it again.
Brosip, you are the weirdest girl I've ever laid eyes on.
I'm just trying to start a revolution.
I know, but you're like a battle tactician, and I'm just over here like, wow,
Well, that's
this
because
fruit's amazing.
Ian taught me how to think.
Because you clearly never knew how to think before.
No, it was a revolution when he told me. I was like, wow.
Well,
I never
amazing.
knew what this big squishy organ in my head was.
Well, it ain't for chopping in half, I'll tell you that.
Oh, no, it's not. I'm in so much pain right now.
She got her head chopped in half.
Yeah, I'm really uncoordinated. I can't hear out of my left ear. It's really disorienting.
Yeah, brain trauma. Fun times. He sounds like he has a business card. Oh, yes. He probably does. Oh no, Clyde Jealous Arc.
Mm,
Also sounds like Clyde Parker has a wanted poster with a messed up nose structure.
I agree.
Just can't get my nose right. Will you stop that? Ian Clyde's storytelling reminds me of Ella Enchanted. Ella Enchanted.
It's been so long since I've seen that movie.
I don't even remember what storytelling are we talking about here. Never mind. Whatever.
Okay. Oh, we're back to Leg Arc, so that's good.
Oh boy,
At
gotta
least it's
love
not frickin'
Leg Arc.
Ian.
Yeah, Ian's chapters are so boring. He is
Yeah.
the least interesting main character ever. Clyde Parker is my new favorite character.
Parker.
He's the actual main character. Leg Arc is an interesting side character. But...
Well, I never knew what the big squishy org in my head is. Okay, 2022.
What was that thing I wanted to say a second ago? Oh, it's funny. I want to know a social security number. I don't want to know. It's like John Jonah Jameson asking for every information about Spider-Man. Alright. Ligark, the new goblin messenger for the dragon, was pleased with his new position so far. The dragon absolutely adored him because he showered the dragon with many flattering, though untrue, compliments. Ligark could tell anyone in the mountain what to do by making up an order from the dragon, and only one other creature in the entire mountain had any suspicion that Ligark might be cheating the system in order to make himself live like a king. Ligark waltzed into the dragon's chamber happily, putting on the cheerful, adoring attitude that he had always had in the presence of the dragon. The dragon had his back to the door, and appeared to be in council with someone else, which was unusual. Ligark strolled around the chamber perimeter bouncily, as though he owned the place. As he came around the dragon's tail fearlessly, he noticed his little hobgoblin friend, who was talking with the dragon. The the very hobgoblin that knew what Ligark was doing. Ligark sighed at this new development, knowing that this was merely a minor inconvenience, and that it would affect nothing. What was his voice again?
It was kind of like a little
sleazy?
nasally and like snooty and sleazy.
After all, with my intelligence, my plan is infallible, is it not?
Like that?
Yeah, it was a little
Just a
bit
less
more,
intense version of Clyde.
Yeah, like a more villainous version of Clyde and a little less New Yorky, you know.
Okay.
So it was like that, but I feel like you leaned into it more the first time.
Gotcha. Well, I think Clyde Parker emerged from it. I've never had to do this voice again since then, so now I'm scared I'll lean into the Clyde Parkerism by accident. Ligark thought proudly, walking forward boldly to join the conversation. Still, I suppose it was arrogant of me to tell my plan to him, expecting not to be caught. Yeah, you freaking moron.
I still think that you're just making this whole thing up.
The dragon growled at the hobgoblin.
I don't really remember his voice, so
He was
I'll
chubby.
just...
I just remember that he was chubby.
I promise you I'm not. He actually said all that, and he told me if I didn't become a mastermind like him, I wasn't gonna last long. The hobgoblin insisted angrily.
What are you two talking about?
Ligark asked innocently, confidently walking into the dragon's line of vision. He knew full well what they were talking about, but he was also proud of how far he'd come. Or how proud he'd thought. He was also proud of how far he had thought ahead and how prepared he was to overcome any obstacle. He grinned energetically as the hobgoblin turned to glare at him. It's Loki.
I was gonna say that. He does have that vibe. Oh, look who it is! The hobgoblin drawled with a look of hatred. Ligark smiled innocently, giving him a wave of greeting.
I am smart.
What are you here for, Ligark?
The dragon asked, amused by Ligark's perpetually lighthearted attitude.
I have a report from Rebecca, but it can wait if your excellency is busy with Tag.
Tag?
Ligark replied.
Is that my name? Tag?
Hmm?
Is that my name? The chubby boy?
I guess so.
Who's speaking? I guess it's the dragon.
Yeah, probably.
Oh no, you give the report now. If it's good news, I'm going to have to insist that we recheck its validity at the source.
Oh, what? Why? Ligark asked, playing dumb.
Tog seems to think that you are a conniving, evil schemer. I've seen no evidence of this so far, however, and no one else has complained about your actions.
Oh, so why does he think that I fit that description? I've done nothing wrong.
Ligark insisted innocently. It's just a less intense version of Clyde Parker. I don't know.
It needs to be more buttery.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I'll try that.
Oh, why does he think I fit that description? I've done nothing wrong.
Yeet.
Yeet! He just throws a rock at him. Brings back a lot. Clyde's cool and all, but Narwhal still has my heart. Aw. How does one be less New Yorky? Burst into Canadian accent.
Oh, that's one we haven't done Canadian.
That's a good point.
Where are we? Yet, Tog pointed out. Your Majesty, I would suggest that you put Ligark, I can't remember how to say his name, on probation and have his every move watched to make sure he adheres to your orders, he said. Now give us that report!
I obey the dragon, not your wishes. Your Majesty, may I give you Rebecca's report? Ligark asked with a low bow. The dragon tried to suppress a smile as he nodded. Meanwhile, Tog tried hard not to curse as he clenched his fist tightly. Ligark knew well how to best play his little game. Ligark unrolled the scroll of parchment he had carried into the room. Actually, perhaps Tog would like to read the report, written in Rebecca's own hand, since he apparently mistrusts me for some reason, Ligark asked. Tog seemed confused by this offer, but after a moment he walked over and snatched the parchment away, rudely scrutinizing the message on it.
A message from Chief Advisor Rebecca, member of the Order of Druids, leader of the Hobgoblins.
Why did he write this much? Why did he write all that?
I don't know.
It's like, yeah, the dragon doesn't know who I am. I need to
Gotta
make sure.
flex all my positions.
Of course.
Tog muttered, looking farther down the parchment. The dragon and Ligark, I can't. Okay. Exchanged amused glances. For His Majesty the King under the mountain. That's literally Lord of the Rings. Okay. He of many scales, the only one who blah 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 blah.
Freaking what? He of many scales, the only one who blah blah blah.
Amazing.
Never read an official message before, Tog. The Gark teased playfully. Tog gave a quick glare as he continued looking for the actual important part of the report.
I've got it, Tog insisted, clearing his throat. Rebecca says that he had at long last, his voice just changed, finished searching through all the treasure in the treasure room, except for the treasure in your personal stash. He says that he found a powerful cursed item, but he still isn't entirely sure if it's the one he's looking for. Rebecca wants to know if he has permission to come up to your personal compartment to look there as well. What in the world is it talking about? Tog wondered aloud after giving the report. The dragon snorted.
Those are secret matters about which you do not need to know. Why don't you go tell Rebecca to do what he needs to do? I'll stay here and have a little chat with Ligark,
The dragon snarled.
Yes, your highness, of course, Tog replied uncertainly, turning to go after giving Ligark one last dirty look. Ligark and the dragon watched him as he walked to the door and stepped out. Once he had gone, Ligark spoke.
My lord, what is he so upset about? He seems to hate me, Ligark pointed out. The dragon nodded, staring at the door thoughtfully.
He mentioned that you might claim to be a jealous coworker.
Wait, what?
Claim him to be.
Oh,
He mentioned that you might claim him to be a jealous coworker, but he insisted that he was merely trying to be a help to me and my kingdom. He told me many things about you, claiming that you have been best friends since birth, but he now calls you a lying, cheating, mastermind lunatic,
the dragon relayed, looking down at Ligark, who feigned a confused, saddened expression.
But you know what I'm beginning to suspect,
The dragon asked. Ligark shook his head innocently. What are you thinking of? What? That's so crazy.
I think that Tog might be the mastermind, trying to slander you to get your job. But don't worry, I trust you more than I trust him. In fact, I'd like you to keep an eye on Tog for me. He would do better to follow my orders than to concoct stories meant to help him secure a promotion.
Oh, yes, your worship, but he's been my best friend for years. How am I supposed to spy on him? Why would he suddenly try to destroy my reputation? Ligark asked.
There are some evil beings in this world, and I am beginning to suspect your friend of being one of them. I am your new best friend. You serve me first, and good things will be given unto you,
the dragon ordered. Yes, your majesty, as you wish, Ligark replied, bowing low to hide his triumphant grin. Conniving. It's just Loki. It's really a Loki character.
It really is.
This is before I ever heard of Loki.
Sucking up
He
the top.
really is. I'm surprised it's working that well when his plan was literally revealed, but okay, the dragon's immature and stupid, and
Yeah,
it's
I
working
wish
out
people
for
would
him.
stop revealing their plans within the first
I know,
2 seconds of them being introduced.
It's a rough draft.
Apply more butter to
Become as butter!
Teeny.
Oh boy.
Ian Y.
I don't know if I have any more energy for Ian today.
Ian.
Bleh.
You're
Oh, do you want
boring,
to call
Ian.
it for today?
I am getting kind of hungry, so maybe.
Hungry, interesting. Alright, remember page 84 is where we
That was
left off.
some good progress. We did like 30 pages.
Yeah, that was fun.
Mhm.
Wait, 30?
Well, didn't we start
We
at
did
like
35,
49?
yeah. You're right.
Clyde Parker was born.
Clyde Parker!
He's my favorite.
He is the best. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Fantastic.
Clyde Parker.
That was really fun. I enjoyed that voice.
Like, Ligark sounds like the
Can't keep a voice consistent though. That's so sad.
You mean his or someone else?
Every voice I do, I
Well, Clyde's been
it
pretty
drifts.
consistent. I think. I mean, I haven't noticed.
Well, I mean, I fail sometimes because I don't know my lines.
Oh, Ligark sounds like the voice EJ uses for Mobius, though. Does it? Oh no.
No, Mobius is more slightly
So you
nasally
think
and
that this is a
calming
good
and.
thing to do. That's wrong, actually.
Vigok is far more distinguished and
Who's your mind? Like Malistaire or something? I don't know.
Malistaire.
I don't know why that's what. No, maybe like Jafar. Who am I thinking of?
Jafar. Jafar is a good one.
Okay.
Good comparison.
Cool.
This was wonderful. Thank you all so much, Amazing Humans. Oh, thank you for being
Thanks
here.
for watching.
Y'all made it more fun. That's
fun.
great.
Tee.
Yeah, thank you all for being here. It was fun. God bless. I don't know if we're...
Thank you all for being here.
Clyde Parker would like to thank you for coming to his debut. He'll be here next week, same time, same place. What day is it? Friday? Friday's 7 p.m.
Don't expect
Eastern
me to remember. My
Standard
head is
Time
split
or
open.
Daylight Savings Time, depending on what happens with time zones,
Do
whatever.
we have daylight saving in this?
Frankly, I have no idea.
Alright.
Do you have anything you'd like to say to the audience before we shut them off?
If you would like to donate to fix my brain, please go to the GoFundMe that my good friend Clyde Parker has set up. Link in the description.
One gold coin can save one brain cell in this poor girl's life.
I'm literally bleeding out right now.
No,
so
I fixed that part, but you still have quite a
I
lot of
have
brain
internal
damage.
bleeding.
Yeah, your brain needs to do some like recalibration and fixing itself up, and then maybe you'll be able to hear out of that ear again. But I
It's a
seriously
good
doubt
thing
it.
that you're on this side because
Yeah.
I would not be able to hear you.
You cannot
if
hear
weren't.
out of the other side. Yep,
No.
that's bit of a problem, but it's fine. As long as nothing ever approaches you from your left side, you'll be fine.
Yes. Is there anything that? No, okay, we're good. I wouldn't be able to tell.
Yep, but I can do all kinds of hilarious pranks now. It's
That's-
great. It
that's-
gives some great opportunities.
No, that's not really funny. That's going to be very bad. I might punch you. if
It
you
would be
suddenly
funny.
Appear.
Huh?
I might punch you if you just appeared next to me.
Well, luckily I'm a wizard, so I can kind of deal with things like that.
You can
Oh.
deal with not being punched.
Well, I can deal with, like, blocking attacks sometimes, but if I actually get hit, I die of 1d4 ouch damage.
No, that's unfortunate. I've gotten a little bit attached to you.
I've kind of got attached to myself, too, you know. I do like myself a lot.
That's good. We like having self-esteem.
Yeah, yeah, it's good to have just a
You're-
little bit of,
You're
you know.
amazing. Hear me?
Thanks. I mean, I certainly have more self-esteem than that other guy that you were talking about. Your ex or whatever.
Oh, he's very hard on himself. He just decides that he's extremely sad and extremely emo and that everyone hates him. And apparently everyone actually loves him, but I don't really know.
Frankly, I don't know at this point. If he's hated or loved, it's somewhere in between.
We have an
the truth might
unreliable
lie in the
narrator
middle.
going on here.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, but I mean, I definitely don't like him that much. You know, like it's just a weird little friendship that we have going on. It's nothing more than that.
What kind of friendship have we got going on?
Oh, it remains to be seen. I mean, if you help me defeat the dragon, then like we could see what happens.
We're the ones who are actually going to go in and defeat the dragon before Ian even gets his magic stuff
We
sorted out.
don't even need Ian.
We're just going to infiltrate. Nobody will expect it. Blast the dragon in the face, and boom! I'm in charge.
Exactly.
I'm going to open a pizza joint in the dragon's old chamber.
Amazing.
Actually, it smells really bad in there, so maybe not that chamber, but somewhere else in the not castle, mountain.
We can clean it out, right?
We need a lot of people doing a lot of scrubbing.
Yeah.
Summon a rainstorm.
Anyway, sorry about
I don't know
that.
what that
Bonus
was, I'm
lore.
sorry.
I don't know. We just vibe. We get in character and just don't stop.
Yeah, that's
But,
why
yeah.
there was 20 whole minutes of in-character bloopers for the Sylvie videos.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you all for coming out. Have a good night. God bless. See you guys all next week or something, unless we decide to do a bonus stream, which doesn't usually happen. But no, I've been really bored lately, so who knows. Bye.
Bye-bye.